The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. I am Tone Diggs. This is the Pat McAfee Show on Feel Good Friday.
Nailed it.
Yeah, Tony! I will be steering the ship today. Don't worry, it's not just me. The toxic table is here, the boys in the back, and more importantly, coming live from the beautiful, stunning, where Vince found out that Spider-Man was no longer the highest grossing movie of all time. He's in the Valley of Ontario, California, where the Ontario reign supreme, Pat McAfee.
Thank you for that incredible introduction, and you're going to do a great job, especially with that little DILF shirt you got on, Kobe Cowboy.
This is Ben
Toxic
Ross.
Table, you look amazing as well. I appreciate you. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's just the part of Ontario I'm in or it's the entire city. This place kind of stinks. This place kind of stinks, and maybe it's just the hotels I've got into or whatever. The first hotel I checked into, I just signed a contract that I wouldn't smoke on the property.
Yes.
I got a room there with a balcony in California strictly so I could smoke the California vitamins there. Had to sign a contract, had security outside, had to come to another hotel. And I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not. There's about 7 to 8 cum-colored stains on this particular chair right here, let alone the couch that's over here and this other chair here. So I don't know if I just so happen to be in the bum spots of Ontario, but the mountain's beautiful, the valley's gorgeous, everything's feeling good aside from how I've had to stay and watch and live here for the last 24 hours. And that bet last night, Tone, let's get right into it, Tone Diggs. That same game parlay was supposed to fucking hit. We were supposed to take millions.
Hey, millions!
I'm going to get kicked out of here. I'm 100% sure. I don't know how loud they were pounding to create that stain that's on that seat right behind me, but I assume it wasn't as loud as me yelling and millions, because that's what we were supposed to take last night, Tone Diggs. We were supposed to take so much money from FanDuel. This was supposed to be the night. Last night was supposed to be the night that the same game parlay finally hits. 2 Super Boosts in a row in football have hit. I started winning out on weekends. I started getting on the right side of gambling. This same game parlay, after a couple weeks of disappointment where one leg or somebody got hurt, didn't hit, last night was supposed to be the night. Going into week 6 here, as we start to understand teams a little bit more. Now, there has been a big trade out of Philadelphia. A man who scored a touchdown last night was shipped to the fucking desert in Phoenix, and I love what Bidwell's doing. He's gone, but I feel like we're starting to get a grip on who's who and what's what. And last night, I felt good. You know, Antonio Brown, he did his part early. First quarter, 32-yard touchdown. Check. Go ahead and get rid of that thing. Jalen Hurts running for his life. He ran like 40 of the some statistician said Sirianni hates the Jalen Hurts accounted for 40% of the Eagles' rush attempts. He was running for his fucking life. We knew that was going to happen. His over in rushing was an easy one to put on that same game parlay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers money line, bunch of fucking winners in Tampa Bay. Of course they're going to win. Yep. Leonard Fournette scores 2 touchdowns instead of just 1 touchdown. Shout out to you, playoff Lenny, Super Bowl Lenny, Beast Lenny, going into Philly and fucking scoring touchdowns. Shout out to you, man. Everything seemed to be going our way. Everything seemed to be going right. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a 3-yard dive for the quarterback that has hit the over in his rushing attempts 5 out of the last 6 games at the oldest age he has ever played at. This man is more nimble, more agile, more quick, more athletic than he's ever been. 1.5 rush yards was a joke. Let's throw it in there to up the odds, to up the thing. And nobody's going to think it's going to hit, but this is going to be a beautiful thing. And 38,000, some people saw this bet and they were like, yes, we were celebrating. We were rejoicing. We were enjoying everything. And then all of a sudden, fucking kneel down. Kneel down. Kneel down. Yards are going away. He ends up with 1 fucking rushing yard, 1.5 feet away from hitting the over and what we needed to take 6 million, 7, whatever the millions were, and we'll find out today at some point. And last night was a heartbreaker. for the same game parlay.
Yep.
It was awesome that the Buccaneers get a win. Don't cover. And it was great to see that it feels like this Buccaneers team is who we thought they were, and that's a team that's probably going to be like the Chiefs and just win every game whenever they fucking want to. Tone, I'm sorry for that rant. I'm sure the neighbors aren't happy. I'm sorry they're trying to create their own stains on their own things, but right now, had to talk about that, Tone. We were supposed to win that fucking money from FanDuel last night.
No, I mean, it looks like that hotel's hurt a lot worse, Pat, so I think you're fine there. And we're not in the business of blaming human beings, but I did hear when you and we presented the same game parlay to FanDuel yesterday that you came up with and we came up with, not FanDuel came up with.
Thank you, Tone.
You're welcome. By the way,
What's that all about?
By the way, it was a free.
clowns.
It was a free
What's
same
that
game
all
parlay.
about?
It was a free.
Tell me what that's all about. I got what's this guy, Billy Gunn or whatever his name is? This guy fucking tweeting me today.
Bill
He's
Dunn.
not the
He's a
only one. I got a
clown.
bunch of people tweeting. Hey, way to go, man! Way to set up everybody to lose their money on a risk-free same-game parlay. If I could set up a parlay to miss by one leg every single time, I wouldn't have a partnership with FanDuel. I'd be betting at every fucking sports book, taking all the money. I am not. People think just because they're an exclusive sports book that I don't want them to lose all. I want them to fucking lose all the money. I want us to win all the money. You know why? Because let's say I did make this decision to have a 5-leg parlay, hit 4 of them now 2 weeks in a row that would have cost millions of dollars from FanDuel, and I did it on purpose so people could feel the excitement. Do you know what it would be like if 38,000 plus people hit on the same bet? Now, granted, there are some sports books that are just hoping for 30,000 people to be betting altogether. We had 38,000 on one. Our team was riding. People were joining us. We were on our horses to happiness. Imagine if that hits. Do you know how many people are probably going to be on it next week? You know how many people are probably going to be on it the week after that if this thing continues to go? So whenever you say, like, oh, business-wise, I chose to lose, first of all, it was risk-free, and second of all, it would be much better business to keep fucking hitting this thing because everybody get excited about it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to continue to build this thing up if we don't fucking hit one. And last night was supposed to be that night. And I would like let everybody know on the internet that's telling me I'm losing on purpose to go fuck off.
Exactly.
I'm not that smart. That's one of the biggest compliments I've ever heard in my entire life. People think I'm doing that on purpose. Maybe if I was, we'd all be rich betting everywhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. And to your point, it was risk-free. So FanDuel, if you bet the $10, they didn't get your $10. They gave it right back to you. But to my original point, I believe it was someone at the toxic table who said, oh shit, should we worry about the kneel? And everyone was like, no, we shouldn't worry about the kneel at the end of the game. But was it you, Ty?
Yeah, I knew. I just knew. I didn't think that the Eagles were actually gonna. I mean, they just let them hang around. You watch that first half, it's like, oh, the Bucs are gonna win by 35 points. We're not gonna have anything to worry about. Brady's not even gonna play in the fourth quarter, and just they found a way. I mean, it fucking stinks. What are you gonna do? But it did feel slowly as we got towards the end. It's like, okay, the kneel is in play, and it does feel like it's possibly gonna come back and bite us in the ass.
Go ahead, Pat.
That game was such a blowout early. Okay, I'm out here in Ontario, which is near LA, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Near LA.
Sure.
That game was such a blowout that the place that Michael Cole and I were watching that game at, Sports Bar, they turned the TV. All the TVs were at the Dodgers-Giants game. Not a single game had the football game. So we had to leave. We had to walk. This place has been a nightmare, all right? So Ontario, we had to walk all the way back to the hotel, have that. Then obviously get to my room. TV doesn't work. Remote doesn't work.
Sure,
Come on.
So anyways, go down to the lobby, sprinting down there. We're watching one little tiny TV I'm watching this thing on. And it's just, the game was so bad. You're right, though. Second half, it really felt like, oh, shit, is Sirianni about to turn this thing into a masterpiece? Is this about to be a Sirianni staple game where maybe they look out of it and then halftime adjustments fucking come full speed ahead and now he's battling wits with the GOAT out there? But that wasn't the case. I don't think there was ever a moment where – I guess there was when we thought it was out of control, but that Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it felt like at any moment they had to, they could have went and gone. But the score definitely and the momentum was starting to switch a little bit. But I think Sirianni – I think he's on to something, right?
Yeah.
It feels like he's on to something a little bit over there.
He might. I think he gave up, Pat. I think he's given up on the season. He didn't have one highlighter in his visor last night. I'm not sure if you saw that or not. Not one fucking highlighter. So I'm pretty sure he's given up on the season. He also decided to only run Booby Miles Sanders one time in the first half. He's done that all year long. What's
Orlovsky wanted him fired.
What's great about the Ravens is like they were like, all right, we have Lamar Jackson. He's incredible at running. He can pass when he needs to. I feel like Jalen Hurts is a similar guy, but instead they're throwing the ball 75% of the time with Jalen Hurts, and they're not really playing to his strengths. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think they're just banking on Jalen Hurts being the entire team. Like he'll run for his life, and it was obvious that Tampa's idea was we need to keep him in the pocket.
Yeah,
right. It was very apparent. Which I think in the first 2 quarters, it wasn't Tom Brady's rushing yards I was worried about.
That's right.
No. It was Jalen's potentially that I was worrying about. So I think Sirianni, maybe he'll evolve as he goes, as he gets his team. They're trading out one of their weapons. They just traded out Zach Ertz. So maybe they are like kind of just building for the future, trying to get Jalen as many reps as possible to get comfortable so that as they continue to build this team or whatever the case is. But I think any quarterback, and this is, this is groundbreaking football analysis.
Here we go.
Can't wait.
Any quarterback has appreciation for the run game.
Yeah.
Even the Peyton Mannings of the world, who, if you look at his first Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts that he won, that thing was on the back of some running backs, Dahn Rhodes, Joseph Adai. And then once you get the run game going, guess what? Now you can throw all over everybody. And there's a certain play that Peyton Manning gave to Tom Brady, allegedly, where it's a play action where the guard pulls and then the tight end releases after that. But it only works if you have a run game at all in there. And I just think with the analytics and the stats, and I think you saw Tom Brady feed Leonard Fournette last night.
Oh, yeah.
They were feeding him early. Like, hey, let's get this thing going so we could at least maybe have the fear of a play action, get everything opened up. But whenever you just sit back and say, hey, we're going to throw, you completely eliminate the threat of a run, obviously, which means they can change how many people are in the box. That means the defensive line can just tee off on your offensive line. It goes back to Brandon Staley's point where he's like, hey, that physicality isn't something that shows up in stats, because in the third and fourth quarter, instead of your offensive line just being beat up all the time, they've actually done some hitting to the D-line as you run out and attack, as opposed to just your quarterback running for his life and accounting for rush yards. Actually designed plays help out everybody. Maybe Sirianni will get on with that, but it seems like with his highlighter and his Excel spreadsheet, he might be a super analytics guy. And I'll tell you what, the average pass is 5 yards. The average run is 3 yards. You do the fucking math. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and their best drive is when they ran the ball with Sanders, like I think 4 or 5 times, got it all the way down. Aside from that, they scored 3 touchdowns. 2 of them were basically deep ball, pass interference, and then they were, in the red zone, and either Hurts ran it in and almost actually nailed the camera guy. I don't know if you saw that. On Hurts' first touchdown, he almost took the head off of a cameraman.
There was a couple outside the field right in front of the fans moments. There was a big hit. I think 2 guys took each other out on the sideline. I don't remember. It was down near. It was crazy. I couldn't hear Joe and Troy at all. Did they talk about the Sirianni decision-making digs at all? Did they say, like, hey, we talked to Sirianni about his lack of run game in this entire thing and how loud Eagles fans are getting, and he told us this, or this?
They mentioned a little bit. They didn't touch on it much. It was much more of a analytics, Twitter, internet thing, in which I fucking love analytics. And not only did analytics ruin the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -6.5 last night, because apparently if you go for 2 the first time versus the second time, you have a better chance of winning the game, which I guess I guess the math checks out on that. Troy said, yeah, I understand the math.
Dude, hey. That started coming around last year.
Yeah.
I think. That whole go for 2, you're down 14, go for 2, and then if you get it, now you're kicking the extra point to win. If you don't get it, you can go for 2 again and tie it up. And if you have to come from behind, this is what you do. And stats say this, stats say that. Man, you're down 14, you need 2 fucking touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right? And if you have a good kicker, like Jake Elliott's a pretty good kicker, I think. I don't know how he's doing this year. He did miss one, I guess, last night, so that's not great. But if you have a good kicker, I think you should bank on them making an extra point more than you potentially making a 2-point conversion one of the 2 times. But these analytics, because it makes sense. Imagine you get that 2-point conversion, okay? Then you come back. Imagine they come back somehow right there and they kick an extra point to win it. And everyone's like, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, this is the smartest thing of all time. What if they don't get both the 2-point conversions?
Yeah.
But how come that never gets brought? It's always like those are conveniently left off of the conversation piece. I assume that has happened before. But we never hear about that stat ever, because I guess now that offenses are as prolific as they are, it must be a different game, and you're rolling the dice, and I get it. But unless something's 100% to 0, like, I think it should be further considered as opposed to just being like an algorithm.
Well, especially with the Eagles' offense, too. Like, yeah, they scored 22 points, but I think they had like 200 yards of total offense. And we've heard and seen all year that, like, Tampa Bay's secondary is not very good. Like,
and Sherman got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. One of the worst in the NFL. Like, but they just couldn't move the ball at all. So, like, to think that, you know, if you do get that, we're just going to march right down the field again. Like, that wasn't the case.
Pat,
shout out, by the way, to Richard Sherman's hammy.
Yeah. Tough.
I'm surprised that didn't happen sooner. You know, I think that was once he got past that first game against the Patriots. I was like, okay, he must be in good shape. He must be in great shape, especially at that position with how much time he was away. And he was even coming out and saying, I think I'm a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks out or whatever. And I think they were talking about the playbook maybe. Yeah. And we all know Sherman's an incredibly intelligent guy. But I don't know how you keep your body in game shape when you're not in a facility. You know, I have no idea how you do it. As soon as you lose Sherman, now that's 4 out of their top?
Oh, yeah.
Winfield was out. Sherman's out. They lost Sean Murphy, Bunting, Carlton Davis. Yeah.
That's 4 of them. And to your point, Pat, there, with all these guys coming off the IR, and I don't know if T.Y.'s actually off the IR yet or not, but, like, how long is it going to take?
Oh, I have some inside sources there.
Oh.
He still has to pass a couple things from what I've been told.
Okay.
However,
optimistic from what I've been told. Felt like it was optimistic, but still not 100% in against Houston at home in Indianapolis, if that makes sense. But he is practicing, and we listened to his press conference yesterday where he talked about it. He said immediately, and by the way, T.Y. Hilton is a lightning rod.
Yeah.
Of energy, talking, upbeat. Always going to hear him when he walks into a room, especially at this stage where he's a leader. He's the oldest. He's been around the longest. He's a guy that is beloved in that locker room. He's beloved in that building by everybody, and he's great at fucking football. So him coming back immediately lifts everybody, especially at 1-4. And although Carson Wentz said he can't look at the records just about next week, everybody's feeling that they're 1-4. And if they're not, we need to get a fucking pulse check on that goddamn building that he should be at least acknowledging that they're 1-4. But this does nothing but bring back a little energy. But my sources have told me he is not cleared to play yet. I don't know if that's going to happen today. I don't know if that's going to happen whenever. I didn't get into the specifics of that with my particular source, but it does feel like they are very optimistic, and the team is rallying around like T.Y. Hilton potentially being back.
I think Jarvis Landry also returns back to practice today. Before we move on from last night's game, Pat, do you remember the narrative, and Gumpy reminded me of it yesterday on Hammered Down, that Tom in games past his bedtime doesn't cover? He hasn't covered in 11 straight primetime games past his bedtime, and now he says he can play until he's 50 or 55. If Tommy's not covering past his bedtime now, wait until like it starts creeping into 425 games when he's out getting the early bird special and shit like that.
Hey, listen, that matinee time is very important for the 50-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like that mid-afternoon time. So, I mean, 1 o'clock is about like early dinner for those old-ass folks. Why is that, by the way? They start waking up at like 4 a.m. Is it because they don't want to miss anything? Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah. Got to read the paper, do the crossword, all that kind of stuff.
Bones hurt.
Yep.
But bones do hurt. I mean, mine already hurt, especially as I'm walking around the entire fucking city of Ontario, California, looking for a goddamn drink. You know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
What do you mean? What happened?
Nothing's open around here till 9:30 a.m. That's 12:30 in American time. What are we even doing?
Is that California
to a Starbucks
specific?
that was allegedly open across the street here, like 0.3 of a mile or something like that. It's the only place that was open on the entire, like, hey, how you doing, keep it moving thing. And over here, they're in that interesting time. So you wake up at like 6 a.m. and you feel like, look at me. I'm a fucking early bird gets the worm guy. This is back-to-back weeks I've got to experience this. And I try to go get a goddamn green tea over there. Place is open. The mall that it is in is not open, though.
Okay.
So I call the place. We're open. Can I get to you? No, the mall is locked. So why are you open? Well, just in case there's a mobile. Well, how do they pick that up? Can I go to where that is? Well, those are employee entrances, and due to our safety and COVID protocols, we do not want to breach those. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So I had to walk to a gas station, like a half mile down the road that way, to pick up an old green tea out of a bottle, and then I stole a big old cup down there. I've had a I've had a tough go of it here in Ontario, California, to be honest. But I think tonight that's all going to change. And I apologize for forgetting what the initial conversation was supposed to be about.
Honestly, I can't remember either. CT is acting up a lot today, so it's going to be a long day. Same thing happened to me at a Bath and Body Works before in the Castleton Mall here.
There's a Bed Bath & Beyond right down here. I was going to get a blow dryer for the hair, because obviously got in the room, blow dryer's broke here, so the hair is just a little bit out of control. Bed Bath & Beyond doesn't open until 11.
Really?
Are you shitting me?
What the fuck is going on? I don't even know if I'm in a real town. This might be a retirement home. I have no idea what it is. Like, it is insane. None of it makes sense, but I'm excited to be here. I will say the views are nice, the weather is nice, but I've had the rough end of it over here, especially with that same game parlay kind of setting the fucking tone and Tom's kneel going back. I mean, what do we do? A lot of people on the internet talking about how that should not be a
yes.
Oh yes,
agreed.
I think it should be like, so in baseball, say there's a runner on second, you ground out, the guy goes to third though, you're out. It doesn't count as a bat. It counts as a sacrifice. So I think the kneel at the end of the game should be similar to the sacrifice, like in baseball.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Where it doesn't count against you.
Yeah, and you saw Tom go up at the end, I think, to keep him in the positive yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he knew that as well.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to disrespect the Eagles either, because that could be a potential disrespect. So he gets back to the line of scrimmage there. And I saw there were some people really cooking on the internet for us to win our money, by the way. And whenever you got 38,000 people riding on one particular bet and something like that happens to fucking end it in heartbreak, brutal fashion, people are going to try to break down everything. But he didn't gain a yard there. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, so he didn't lose another one. But what a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah, and the worst part about that, too, is Gumpy was pointing out this morning, his over-under for rush yards has typically been half a yard, but because of his past 2 weeks, him having like 5 to 10 rushing yards, they just bumped it up by 1. So naturally, of course, we lose by half a yard.
What a fucking joke that is, that you just said.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that stat you just said. I assumed 1.5 was like his thing every single time, just like in hockey.
Yeah.
In hockey, it's always like 1.5.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it is. In soccer, I think they have one as well. I assumed 1.5 was just Tom Brady's thing all the time. How you doing? Keep it moving. He hit 5 out of the last 6. Maybe I should have done a little bit more fucking research. But Tom, let me tell you this. I appreciate the fact that you got back to the line of scrimmage on that last kneel down. All right, because you ended up with 1 yard rushing. And I know you're a 1,000-yard rusher over your career. 5 out of the last 6, you've gone over what people thought you would be able to rush for. And it's been nothing short of spectacular. But how come we couldn't do that every single time? How come we couldn't have a 3-yard rush day?
Yes.
How come only on the last one we wanted to get back to the line of scrimmage? I fucking love, I love how good you are at football, man.
Mm-hmm.
I like how much you love avocado ice cream. Man. I like how you sold us like that alien chocolate a couple years ago.
What?
I love pliability, man. I can't touch my toes, but I'd love to be fucking pliable one day. I probably won't because I feel like it hurts, but I love that you're pliable, dude. I love everything you're about. I like Alex Guerrero. I like the fact you went to Tampa, told Bill Belichick, fuck off, win a Super Bowl. I like everything about you, pal. I like that you say you're going to play till you're 50, 55, longer than George Blanda, who's a Western Pennsylvania legend who was smoking cigs on the sideline. I don't know how he played until he was 50 years old. I love everything about you, but pal, move your fucking feet earlier in the game so we don't have the kneel down situation where we don't have to hit an over on rush yards and 38,000 plus can fucking win, Tom.
Well, or maybe, just line up Vita Vea at like fullback. Maybe try something out for later in the season that you might unveil during the playoffs. I mean, if you score a touchdown, we cover as well. I mean,
Kick a field goal?
Kick a field goal, yeah.
Kick a field goal.
How about that?
Okay.
Hey, Tom, we love you, Tom.
Love
Tom,
you.
I've actually been on record as saying that when babies are born, they should be showing a picture of you and said, like, hey, good luck trying to emulate this. Right? Like, good luck. This guy, greatest of all time, seems to be intelligent, runs a great business. His wife makes like $100-some million a year. He's got, everything he does. Like, hey, good. This is what we're trying to do. And to be honest, he is kind of creeping into the Elon Musk, definitely an alien in my brain.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And I guess Demi Lovato, they said...
Can't say it. Can't say alien.
Yeah, it's insensitive.
It's insensitive
Yes.
to the extraterrestrials.
They said that they had an issue with the word alien, right?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time.
So did they talk to
The Galactic Federation.
the thing flying the UFO and ask them because what if the being, and we'll have to ask they this, but what if the being that's in the UFO lands here, speaks like us, and said, "What's up? I'm a motherfucking alien." Do we know that? Like, what if that's what they want to be called? Do they know that? Like, guys, I saw a bunch of people tweeting me like, "Hey, Demi Lovato's going to be pissed about you calling Tom Brady an alien and Elon Musk an alien and everything like that." And I'm like, I understand where they might be coming from, how that is used in other situations. But in this particular one, how do we know what they fucking want to be called and referred to? I just assumed that they'd probably come down and say like, "Yo, what up, dog? Fucking alien shit, dude. What if they did that?" How do we know? We don't know, right?
I believe Demi now believes that since they has a new show where they look for ghosts and extraterrestrials, that she is the foremost expert opinion on this matter and has taken it into her own hands.
I would like to let they know that I've been hunting motherfucking ghosts and aliens for a long time as well.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know if I've had an encounter with them, because how do we know if ghosts want to be called ghosts?
How about
Good
that?
question.
Good call.
Did they talk about that?
Whoopi Goldberg told us they want to be called ghosts.
Hell yeah.
What was that movie where she was a nun?
Oh,
Ghosts.
Sister Act.
Sister Act. Absolutely.
Fucking so good.
So good.
yeah.
All three of them.
So good. Anyways, I'm going to continue to call humans that I think are built differently than the rest of us and have brains different than the rest of us and seem to accomplish things that the humans could not normally accomplish. I'm going to continue to call them aliens until we get word from a being that's flying one of them fucking UFOs that are real that says anything different. Now, if they come down and they're like, we've been hearing what y'all motherfuckers have been saying about us, you know, like if they come down in there and say that, then I'll be like, okay, I get it. But until further notice, Elon Musk, Tom Brady, definitely fucking aliens.
Yeah, and also, like, if these aliens actually didn't like it, they would have blown us to smithereens a long time ago, because it's not as if we just started calling them aliens. It's been like this for years. So you got to assume they don't have a problem. And I do actually, think that the aliens or extraterrestrials probably listen to Demi Lovato, and so they would come down and say, "Hey, we love your music. By the way, we want to be called extraterrestrials." So maybe there is a little bit of a case to be made.
Until we find out about that, I guess we'll have to continue to ask questions. What skyscrapers?
Great song.
Great song, fucking banger. I just don't be. And if she releases the tapes of where she's talking, or they are talking to the beings, and they're saying, "Hey, do not call us aliens," I'm all about it. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. All right, that's how I always operate. I just talked about that the other day. I think we have some breaking news.
Ooh.
Yes.
The NFL's top rush game, as of a couple weeks ago, I don't know if they still are, but the NFL's top rushing team, the Cleveland Browns, are without running back Nick Chubb this weekend against Arizona. Big-time game. Zach Ertz will not be able to play in that game, even though he was traded today a couple days before that game, because there is an NFL rule about not being able to play 2 times in 1 week. A lot of people from Tampa, their fans, were saying, "Shame this guy can't lose 2 times in 1 weekend." Well, I don't know if that would be the case or not, because Chubb is out. That guy's a weapon, Tone.
Yeah, it's tough for the Browns, but they also have Kareem Hunt, and then they also have more depth. They got more horses in that stable. Here's why it could be a bigger deal. I like the Browns actually this weekend. They do have the number 1 rushing attack in the NFL. Arizona has the 31st rushing defense in the NFL. There's also supposed to be 20-mile-an-hour winds coming off the lake this weekend. So I like the Browns for those reasons. Does this hurt it a little bit? Yeah, but I think Kareem Hunt and the boys back there probably still be all right.
Okay, so my first thought is with that wind, and by the way, we love Nick Chubb. He came on here and gave us a great interview, and he's a fucking stud, obviously. Very fast runs. And what Andrew Berry has done with the Cleveland Browns to appease the dog pond with some success for a while is we're going to go around the run game. You know what I mean? So much so that Baker Mayfield has actually been like buried a little bit a couple times because he doesn't have anywhere near as many yards as everybody else. He's missed a couple balls and he's playing through an injury, but the run game's so good they're still winning. So if you win, who cares? I think is how probably everybody in that locker room is looking at this thing. But if you're saying 20-mile-an-hour winds coming off of that thing, no Nick Chubb, what's the over-under on that game, Diggs? Do you know? That is a tough place to kick. That is a tough place to throw. That is a tough place to punt, especially with that wind. Cleveland is a nightmare when that lake gets breathing heavy.
Good point. Pretty high total, 49. Also, Kyler's a little dinged up with the same shoulder he was dinged up on last year. Rodney
good.
Hudson's at.
Ooh.
His center's at. You liking the under?
Yes.
Tony might like the undies as well.
Yeah, under looks like the play for sure. And also Jarvis Landry back for Cleveland might help. So Baker, actually having the full arsenal of receivers and tight ends. Obviously losing Chubb stinks, but that's why you have Hunt.
So looking at my little statties here as well, Browns run the ball second most in the league. Cardinals run the ball sixth most in the league. So
wow.
might be on the ground, run game, ground and pound, old AFC North battle with the Cardinals.
And Andy Lee is obviously a great punter, and Andy Lee's been around a long time, but there's no machine that can beat the wind. So if if they're coming back and forth, I don't know. I'm really intrigued by that game. That's the biggest game of the weekend by far. And you say they're 31st against the run, that
Yes.
Cardinals defense.
Yes.
A lot of OGs over there, right? They've probably just been hunting sacks. I wonder if they could just turn it up in the run game, because I feel like a lot of things run game are effort, discipline, stuff like that. I don't know if they maybe haven't needed it or maybe it is one of their Achilles heels in their weaknesses over there. And I mean, the only thing that does make me think about that is Baker and Jarvis have an incredible connection. Right?
Yeah.
But it's going to be windy. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's practicing now. I don't know if Jarvis is going to play on Saturday night. I think it's similar to T.Y. Chandler Jones is also out for the Cardinals in that game,
huge.
so that'll be a big deal. To put a bow on the Cardinals and the Eagles and the Bucks, what are your thoughts on? It seems like Arizona Cardinals win now. They go out and get Ertz. I assume you like that move after Max Williams gets hurt.
I kind of hit on it earlier because of in the middle of my same game parlay diatribe there, where I still believe we got fucked. We should have won that.
big
I
time.
apologize. Next week we are hitting. Okay, I don't know who the game is, but we'll have at least one more weekend of film on these teams. We're gonna know what we're gonna do going in there. Bidwell, though, that son of a bitch flew his plane over to Wisconsin to pick up J.J. Watt after paying him like $30 million, and we had no idea what was going to happen to J.J. Watt. We had no idea what the future held for one of our greatest players on the defensive side of the ball, coming off an injury, leaving Houston Texans. We didn't know what the case was. Steve Bidwell hops in his plane and says, hey, motherfucker, you're coming back to the desert, fifth largest city in America. We need to get this team going. Then he brings in A.J. Green. Then he has Cliff Kingsbury in another year of comfort. Kyler Murray balling. Nuke's still there. And then he invests on the defensive side of the ball with a bunch of studs, draft capital, everything like that. I love what Mr. Bidwell has done. I love him trading for Zach Ertz. If you think somebody, especially after the Williams injury, T's and P's, rest in peace, moment of silence to the injury, that I did not know that Williams guy existed. Watching him the first 5 weeks has been awesome.
Yeah.
That injury looked terrible. Obviously, everybody has massive amounts of respect for him. We need to fill that position right now if we want to go win, which is what we think we can do, especially in an NFC West that is going to be a fucking murderer's row. I love an aggressive owner. I love a team that buys in and says, let's go win now. And I think the players in that locker room are going to be appreciative of it as well. Think about Kyler Murray looking at this owner, looking at this front office, Steve Keim, looking at Cliff Kingsbury. Hey, I lost one of my weapons. I lost one of my tight ends. And they're like, hey, don't worry about it, buddy. We're going to get you another one by the end of the fucking week. And it's going to be a big-time player, a guy who's made $46 million in his career with the Philadelphia Eagles, has won a Super Bowl, who wants everything like that. I think this is great for the entire organization. If I'm part of that bird gang out there, the big Red Sea or whatever the hell it is, I'd be pumped with how aggressive the ownership has been.
Yeah, especially in that division, like you just mentioned, competing with the Rams and, the Niners and Seattle, depending on Russell Wilson. But you got to feel for Tay going or Zay going, going from the undefeated Cardinals to Sirianni. I mean, God damn it, that guy got screwed.
Hey, Tay going. Very nice, great. I mean, going out to Phoenix and staying out there for that one weekend. I mean, I'd never really done that before. I was out there for the Pro Bowl, but I was mostly in the hotel and then out in the middle of the desert, literally nowhere. And I played the Fiesta Bowl, and we had a great time out here, and I was underage still and that whole thing. But just that is a vacation retirement place.
Yeah.
I mean, it is gorgeous. Your team is on the up and up. Your ownership is investing in the team. Everything is good. And then Tay is going to a rebuild in the city of brotherly love. Not that the first capital of the United States isn't a beautiful city. Okay, I'm not saying that. It probably is a beautiful city for some people, probably where you want to live. But Tay going definitely is on the wrong end of this, but maybe he'll get some more playing time. And maybe he'll become an Eagles legend. Just like Zach Ertz is, who's joining Kyler and the boys in the desert.
All right, let's get to a break. But as we're going to break, Pat, I was just thinking, You think there's any chance that offensive guru, offensive big brain coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers saw our same game parlay and told Tom to maybe take that knee a little bit farther back? AQ Shipley?
Could you imagine if that, he's thin now, but imagine if that Michelin-looking man motherfucker, imagine if he did. I mean, he doesn't, his life sucks.
Yeah.
His life sucks. I talk to him like once every 3 weeks at this point. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, doing the same thing I did the last time. What's that? Just studying film or whatever. Being a coach is that's a real thing you have to have inside of you, because you have to at least give the portrayal that you are watching film all day and trying to be smarter than everybody else in the NFL. And you have to do tasks for people that are meaningless, because at the end of the day, it's just blocking, tackling, catching, throwing, kicking. That's literally all it is at the end of the day. You can do all the shit you want. You can find the scheme you want, and I agree, film study is worth it. But it gets to the point where I think everybody's just trying to do the scoreboard thing. I'm watching more film than you. I'm watching more film than you. And that's just kind of how it's been for 50 years. So I don't know if AQ saw the same game parlay, but I wouldn't put it past him that he is so miserable maybe that he's trying to ruin our lives as well. Yeah, fuck them. They're having all their fun.
Hey, well,
I don't know. I've not talked to him, but I don't know.
Who knows? I mean, his unit is looking pretty damn good. If they win a Super Bowl this year, Coach AQ Shipley might be getting a head coaching look somewhere.
He would have 2 Super Bowl rings as a coach in less than a year and a half.
It's pretty good.
You tell me, is that the greatest coach of all time? Is this fucking Lombardi?
Yeah.
Fucking put this guy in the Hall of Fame. And that also stinks for him. He's going to have to do that for the rest of his life.
Yep.
He wins 2 Super Bowls for a year and a half. I think that's the universe saying, hey, this is your calling. And I don't, once again, this is not me talking to him and him telling me he's miserable. This is me just assuming from the very rare conversations we have where he is just doing one particular thing, which is watching film. And maybe he loves it, I'm not sure. But if he wins 2 Lombardis, maybe that's the universe telling him, you got to coach forever, dude. Just go ahead and fucking mail it in, move into a cave, watch football film, and that's your life now. Congratulations.
Or maybe it's aliens telling him that. I don't know. Feel Good Friday continues after the break. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Mad Dog Radio, Channel 82. See you in 4 minutes.
Okay, so this one's a heartbreaker, right? I just had to walk outside the hotel that I had been watching the game in over here in Ontario, California, and everything was going so fucking great, okay? The same game parlay was going to hit. We were all going to celebrate. It was going to be the night. Leonard Fournette scores a touchdown. How you doing? Keep it moving. Jalen Hurts runs for his life. How you doing? Keep it moving. The Buccaneers get a fucking win. How you doing? Keep it moving. Antonio Brown has 40 yards in the first quarter. How you doing? Keep it moving. And all we needed was what Tom had, and then he took Neo down. I mean, there was close to 40,000 people riding on that. That would have been fucking epic, dude. I'm so sorry. Legit bummed about this. Fuck. All right, 0-0. Make it 2-0. Make it. Nice. 1-0. Oh, 2-1. Oh, here we go. This. 4-1. Oh, wow.
You guys got it.
Speed run, dude. 11. Oh. Oh, no. Can't quit the ball cap. You don't get a chance. Oh, geez. Oh, what the? That is hard to make a shot. It's hard. All right. Again, boys. Again. First time in history. That's the first time. No, we're still tired. Oh. Okay, we got deep. Oh, it's 12? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, boy. So the Young Bucks said, hey, can we speed the game up a little bit when we yell out the score? I mean, that thing ended before it even started. We didn't even get through a full inning. No.
You do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
one fight at a time, fellas.
Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I am Tone Diggs, joined by the Toxic Table and all the boys in the back.
How about Tony?
Pat is joining us from Ontario, California. He is in. He's there for SmackDown.
Yep.
Dahn.
Not Canada either.
No.
California. No,
I've
you were
never-
right.
No, I've never heard of Ontario, California. To
Me
be honest
neither.
with you.
And apparently they don't open anything till 9:30 in the morning.
That's
Pacific
Cali.
time.
That's Cali, baby.
But you were talking about the Ontario Reign, the I believe the affiliate of the Los Angeles Kings, right? And they run the city pretty much.
Yeah, it does seem where the stadium that SmackDown is at.
Yeah.
When you search it, it is home of the Ontario Reign. So one of the best AAA affiliate besides Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins in the
course.
NHL. I fucked up as a host to lead off the show. 1:35, we got the Cast Dog, Matt Castle. Obviously, AJ is joining us here in the second hour. Pat, no Coach JB today, correct?
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Hold on, I'm echoing. Can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
You're good.
Sorry, obviously we had a connection issue. The internet that I paid for the upgrade, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
Ontario stinks. I figured. I'm surprised that you're even on right now, just because everything you said about that place is ridiculous.
You're in the valley, dude. You're in the valley.
Hey, rolling blackouts, dude. But the is that really where I am right now? Is this the valley?
Yeah, besides Miami, I think it's the porn capital of the world.
Wow. Shout
That's-
out.
Tony Diggs.
That's the chair.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go.
Johnny Sins actually stayed in that exact same room, Pat.
I've seen that chair.
And a lot of big wet butt videos. Oh, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at the yellow one.
Yeah, that's the one that really gets
Yeah.
you. That one.
Oh,
That's
God,
a sin
yeah.
size load right there.
That guy should see a doctor.
That's what happens when you eat too much spinach.
That might even be like a Peter North size load.
Yeah, that could be the Big Wet Butts like filming room, honestly.
Pat,
Despicable. I'm sure there's better places in Ontario than I have seen. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
I'm sure there's.
Pat, before AJ comes on in the second hour and before all the guests come on, and this shouldn't be a topic that we talk about without you or that I talk about at all. Washington football team apologized for the number retirement. They also has been more leaking of the emails from Bruce Allen, and now there's an NFL attorney tied to it, and Dan Snyder. Like, I feel like we're tip of the iceberg here for the emails in the Washington football scandal.
Old Pash there got
Yeah.
caught up in
Yeah.
the.
Yep.
And Ian Rappaport, Pash, the NFL's top lawyer, had a close relationship with longtime president and troubled Washington football team, Bruce Allen email show. Pash, and I can't see the side of the. To be honest, I can't see the left side of the tweet. I'm just guessing. Whatever the case is, Pash, the NFL's top lawyer, got caught up in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, So Ian Rappaport alluded to this yesterday. He said, did the NFL leak this, or did investigators uncover this, or did journalists uncover this stuff? And how would that work? Would that mean people would have to hack into their database, or that would mean somebody within their circle is releasing some information? And who is that person? Is that person picking and choosing? And do they hate Pash, the NFL's top lawyer? Because they would have to be a lawyer, right? Because they would be the ones probably going through all this shit. Would probably be people in the law field. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. The NFL has an umbrella of humans that are overqualified for every job, allegedly. So who's picking and choosing what goes out? This is like a reality TV show. This is Real Housewives of the NFL. Who is going to be the next in that 650,000 email investigation that is going to get their shit leaked, and why and how? And I think that'll be something we'll have to figure out as we go. It's like, who's getting picked off? Who's deciding to release the information? I'm sure Pash isn't thrilled. He's the top lawyer. He's probably going to try to sue in this entire thing. I'm not sure. Jeff Pash, the NFL's top lawyer, had a cozy relationship with a longtime president of the troubled Washington football team. Emails show. Pash and the executive brokered penalties, discussed a cheerleading scandal, and arranged perks.
Whoa.
So now you got the NFL's top lawyer and a president of one of the NFL's teams allegedly colluding on certain things that aren't great, and it showed in email documents. It's just like, how much more shit? There has to be all this shit that the NFL doesn't want people to know about, or all the shit that's potentially talked about, whether it's the hiring or bringing in of certain people, or and who knows what the Kaepernick emails could potentially look like. I know that's what the internet's like. Is that in there at all? And what will we know? What will we not know of? And I think the NFL would like this to die sooner than later. Definitely their top lawyer all of a sudden. But I don't know if that's going to happen, especially with people's ability to get access to anything if they really want it, especially now with the internet.
Well, and with stuff like continually coming back to the Washington football team, like, you got to feel terrible for Jason Wright, because it almost seems like, I mean, he's doing everything he can. He's trying to change the culture, but ultimately, like, if Dan Snyder's still the owner and there's still all this stuff out there, is there anything he's going to be able to do to get past this, or is this just like waiting for the other shoe to drop at some point?
So Jason Wright is awesome, because Jason Wright, former player that is now president of a team. And I am incredibly, I don't want to say like proud of him, but it's real. Like in the NFL, if you're a business person in the NFL, you understand the situations that happen within a building, and there's a lot of players' questions on stuff. And I understand that some people in some NFL buildings in the marketing side, and maybe in some other cases, are really well studied and know all that shit, and they get their jobs for a reason. But a lot of times players, and I'm not saying all players, but there are players in the locker room that are like, hey, the way we're marketing this team is stupid. The way we're running this team is stupid. Yeah. Some of the decisions that are being made, and I'm not saying that was happening at the Colts. I'm just saying I've talked to guys around the league, and we've all I'm a player, and I judge the way teams are being run just like other people. So seeing a player get into that and having that perspective and that role is incredible. And I think he's obviously very well versed in this particular world, because the job he had in between being a player and now being the president of a multi-billion-dollar franchise in the NFL, he was actually a part of like a crisis team, I think. They were like consultants or advisors for when a building was going up in flames. They would come in and either devise a new strategy or figure out how to fix what they have been doing wrong. So he is literally the perfect person for this particular job, in my eyes, and I think in a lot of people's eyes. And that's why the president's brief yesterday after the Sean Taylor number being retired announcement wasn't necessarily received as fantastic by the fans, because it was only like a 3-day build-up period. It's in the middle of all this shit happening with the Washington franchise. This is something we all love, Sean Taylor. We appreciate him. He's like almost something that every fan can get around and rally around, especially when all this shit's happening. So people thought it was a PR ploy. It obviously wasn't. A lot of shit had to go into that. And I think Jason Wright opened up to the fans and said, I dropped the ball. I messed up. We'll figure it out going forward. I apologize. And you do have to feel bad for him. But on the other hand, like, I think this is exactly why Jason Wright was hired to be the president. I think he's going to be able to manage this. I think he's going to be able to move forward. He's going to be able to get to the next chapter of the Washington football team. And to be honest, I think a lot of people are saying Dan Snyder doesn't deserve the guy.
Yeah.
And I think that is a definite argument that should be heard a couple times.
There's actually a pretty good TV show called House of Lies with Don Cheadle and Kristen Bell, which actually is about what Jason Wright used to do as his old job. I think you'd actually enjoy it. To your point, though, when Rapp was on yesterday, I was very confused because when we were talking about like how do these get out or whatever, it's an NFL investigation. So like when he said that's good journalism, what does that mean? Like they got someone to turn over the documents, or did they hack in or whatever? I'm confused. When you said like originally, I thought, all right, Goodell released the Gruden ones because Gruden, besides offending everyone, also came at Goodell. But like these ones, maybe Goodell doesn't like the top lawyer. I'm going to stop talking about Goodell in a poor way because this is an NFL show. But like I was confused as well, to your point on what Ian meant yesterday.
Yeah, good journalism. I was able to turn one of these motherfuckers into a rat in there.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating thing. And is it potential that is good journalism, having a relationship in somebody in there that you can get that information so the world can know? And I think obviously the league will be better after all this information is known, and they have to have public pressure to change it and hopefully evolve and move forward. But like, because now I want to know who that source is, because that particular person, why are they trying to bury people? What's in their past, and are they trying to move up? It's like, this is what we have to think about at all times in the world that we're in. Or maybe one of these journalists just went to the Code Academy and just started hacking into these things.
Yeah, and like, what will the trickle down effect be? Sorry, Nick, but like, what will the trickle down effect be? Where it's like, if Allen has had conversations with even just within his division, like how many guys? Because you assume if there's anything, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily true, but if there's anything that links like Jerry to anything that he might have talked with Bruce Allen or any of the other guys, Howie, anybody else in the division, like they all might be on the hook, or like stuff might not even come out about them.
You think like Howie, Jerry, Mora, you think they just dunk? Or no, I'm sorry. Do you think Jerry, Mora, and Bruce, do you think they all just dunked on Howie Roseman all the time?
Had to have.
Probably.
Look at this fucking idiot. Like, it's just something even that simple along those lines.
Yeah, because I would like to see those little give and takes as well.
Yeah.
Because, the mic'd up scenarios is where I learn about the guys, how people interact with them. If we could see all those emails just so I can know who is what and how and who's terrible, I think that'd be very nice, but there's no way that happens.
Sherman put a tweet out that he basically like, hey, I asked my body to do a lot in a short period of time. Disappointed, going to bounce back soon, asked a lot of my body in a short amount of time, we'll be back better.
I didn't know how he was going to be able to stay in shape, especially at corner. Corner's like one of the most explosive. You have to be able to cut. Hasselbeck said this. Hasselbeck said it wasn't about how fast he was able to run when he got older. It was about whether or not he was able to stop, cut, explode other directions. And I'm not saying Richard Sherman is Matt Hasselbeck. He's much more athletic than Matt Hasselbeck. And there is no offense taken, I hope, by Matt Hasselbeck there. But as your body gets old, I didn't know how he was going to be able to, especially with everything else he had going on. I didn't know. That's a tough position to go into. They needed him, obviously. He stepped up for them. But I thought that hamstring getting sniped is a bad feeling out of nowhere. I assume he thought it was potentially coming. I assume he probably knew.
We only have like a minute till break, but like Jarvis and Ty coming back, like, do they rush? Like, do they come back as soon as the doctors tell them, or you think they know, like, hey, I feel all right to come back whenever I want to come back?
What's Ty? Ty's a back?
Yeah.
Neck, I think, too.
Back, neck, yeah.
Back, neck. Like, Ty's going to probably, I assume they have to be cleared, right? Because cover your ass, especially in the NFL. But that feels like that's when we're Ty, especially with the OG-ness of Ty. He'll probably tell him, like, hey, I'm good or not. But players want to play as soon as they can, too. Yeah. That is something that's much different, especially like Jarvis. As soon as he gets cleared, he's like, all right, I'll be able to taper down. I'll go out there. He's got to hope everybody's okay. And it's great to see some of the stars coming back, hopefully.
All right. In the second hour, we'll have AJ Hawk. Pat will still be with us. They'll make their picks. We'll talk about all the other games, all the other news. Pat McAfee Show, Mad Dog Radio channel.
One of his shows, he forced me into doing. He's wearing football pants.
I think Marco
had actual knee pads.
Does he have a fake face on?
Yeah, he has a fake face on. That is not Chris Angel. That or he's been eating McDonald's with Mark Davis for the last 5 years.
I just want everybody to know.
Straight to his face.
I just want everybody to know this is NFL related. Okay, we have to talk about this.
Yes. We have to cover it.
Why is his penis a different color?
He's wearing football pants.
Tony, that's a
Joe Burrow, yeah. I enjoyed watching him in college. He had a hell of a year the last year. I really enjoyed how much them winning allowed us to hear Coach O and his mastery of the English language. I enjoy his dialect and the way that, he talks. It's pretty amazing. Say, go Tigers.
Go Tigers, yeah. Go Tigers. I said that on ESPN one time, and ESPN got a letter from the PR person asking why I was mocking the way he was speaking. He was like, no, I was honoring the way that guy.
Homage.
Hey, go Tigers down there. Right there's a Barker.
He's got quite the pronunciations, even comparatively to a guy like yourself from Pittsburgh. You guys have a hard time talking sometimes, but I think I can understand Pittsburghese a lot better than than Coach O most of the time. But all this to say, I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I enjoy the way he goes about his business. I enjoy the way he plays with confidence. I will tell you the thing that I told him, which I've told other quarterbacks from time to time: slide. Slide. I said you're too damn talented. You got so much in front of you to accomplish in this league. Just sometimes you got to slide. I would have said the same thing to Andrew. Andrew initially got hurt in Indy, being Superman and running guys over and stuff. Like, the only guy who I've told to slide who really didn't need to hear it and still doesn't is the guy that was playing last night, because he's so damn fast and talented and strong running the ball, man. You could keep running like that for a lot of years, Lamar. You don't need to slide. But everybody else, just slide every now and then.
We talk about, hey,
take on a bunch of guys.
Hey, I was in there.
Talking about the Bruins winning the Cup finally this year.
They're not.
That's not
Yeah, they are.
No, the Pittsburgh Penguins are bringing it home. It's coming home.
Penguins lost to
Hockey
Nets.
Town is back. Red
You
Wings
guys
stink.
fucking stink.
Red Wings fucking stink.
Players can't even play. They're not allowed to.
Yeah, you guys aren't even allowed to play hockey. And you weren't even invited to the hockey tournament a couple years ago when it was in a bubble in the middle of a world stoppage. Your team wasn't even invited. You're not a team. Bruins, you guys stink.
We're very good.
You guys are all playing for second, and fucking Stoner's still, lacing up the skates.
You guys lost Flyer.
You guys ran Flurry out of time.
Exactly.
You don't have a goalie. You don't have a goalie.
You don't have a
No, you don't have a
We're
goal.
going to take your goalie.
2K.
What some of the best GMs in the history of the game have done. They've gone out and they've given their guys a chance to win. When there's a void in the lineup, when there's a scratch, when there's a guy banged up, they go out and they pick someone up. So we went out and we found a guy. He's a guy. He's got jam. He's got grit. He's got sandpaper. And this fucking guy can score. He ain't no bummer. This guy scored.
Who is it? Who is
A
it?
Game 7 Stanley Cup winning goal.
What?
Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Rupper. We got Rupper.
Right off the waiver wire. Thanks for claiming me, boys. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for showing up on time, Rupper. Great to have you.
You know what, man? First shift, and I'm already -1. First shift, and -1.
You threw some hands every once in a while. Who's the toughest guy you fought?
Toughest guy I fought was probably Jody Shelley. He was tough. He beat me all the time.
Yeah, but you had that classic line where you told him he was fucking irrelevant. Nothing he does out here matters. That was awesome.
And then I knew I had to answer to saying that a couple weeks later. And I got shelled. I played him the next game. I'm getting ready. I'm like, oh, here we go. Get my ass kicked. And I go out there, and sure enough, we fight. He beats me up. And I'm like, good, dude. We're even now. You beat me up. Cool. Probably Colt Noor. Colt Noor was tough.
Oh, big boy.
And then outside of that, we'll save it for another show here. I got a great fight story when I was in Pittsburgh against Dahn, man. It's a classic. But he was
Hey, good tease.
Changed the rule. I think maybe he was on the Flyers.
Yeah.
That was it. He couldn't do it anymore.
You know what, Gumps? It was funny because that was the same time. So we're not going with Gumps. Is that not
No, I love it.
good.
It's like,
That's
hey,
good. Hey,
this is how I
that's
know
good
you're the
hockey
ultimate
talk.
hockey guy.
That's good
The guy's
hockey
already
talk,
got a
bro.
nickname.
Yeah, man.
And
I mean,
you
I
just
don't know.
drop it and change it.
It's always that ER, and I thought Gumper sounded pretty lame, so I went with Gumps. Like, we can go with whatever.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I am Tone Diggs, currently steering this beautiful ship across the seas.
Nailed it, Tony.
A little early. Joined by the Toxic Table and everybody in the back, and also coming from beautiful Ontario, California, Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Boys, I miss you guys, man. I really do. I'm happy none of you came out here, though. This hasn't been that pleasant of an experience, but I think that will change as the afternoon rolls on. Ontario is probably a beautiful place. I haven't seen any of that at all, but I'm excited to be here with you guys on this Feel Good Friday.
Pat, before AJ joins us, I thought this might cause some controversy in Cleveland. Myles Garrett put all of the quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than Baker Mayfield in his yard as Halloween decorations. Did you see this?
Well, I don't know if that is that is how or what he did. I did see that there was a lot of other quarterbacks out there that Myles Garrett's looking to hunt out there, and I like that Myles Garrett's shown a little bit of happiness and a little spooky season vibe, and I appreciate that he's saying like, hey, this is all motherfuckers I'm gonna go kill. And I'm going to take the helmet off for this one here, especially Herbert needs to watch it because it looks like that one's been hit with a helmet. And that is something that we need to think about and talk about there.
I also respect that the Big Ben one only has number 7. It does not have his name on it. Joining us right now, Super Bowl champion, national champion at Ohio State. Incredibly, just a good guy.
Wow.
Come on.
I don't know about that.
Just a good guy. He's a good guy, AJ Hawk.
Yeah!
What's up, guys? How you doing, Pat? How's it going out there?
AJ, I'll tell you what, this is nice. You're in an attic in Ohio in like a mega mansion. You know what I mean? One of those things that I would have seen in the Lifestyles of Rich and Famous with that old fat British guy with a beautiful voice speaking over top of it. What you're looking at here is that whole thing. I'm sitting in a porn set in Ontario, and it is an absolutely beautiful Feel-Good Friday, AJ. Same game parlay didn't hit. We almost all would have won a bunch of money. I'm sitting in Johnny Sin's come over here. It's quite a day, AJ. It's quite a day, pal. Good to see you on Feel-Good Friday.
Hey, good to see you, too. You're the one that always told me you like to choose your hotels. You don't like the WWE to put you up, so congrats on getting a good spot this year. Last night, so that's all you needed. When Tom Brady takes a knee, that's what through the whole same game part. See, I assumed you got it. I assumed it was in the bag.
Well, you and I both, we had plans of going on a clean sweep this season or this weekend. You remember? We said this is what we're going to do. We're going to be on the same page for every game, and we're going to win every single one of them outright. So our record's going to be the exact same. It's going to be 16 or no, because there's 2 games missing. Do your math. 14. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 14-0 is what we're going to be this weekend. That's what we're going to be. 4 teams are on the bye, by the way. Welcome to bye season. If you got a bye week this week, the first bye, you are pissed, especially with the long haul on the other end of this thing. But maybe some teams will be able to get better in that. I thought we were going to go undefeated. The Buccaneers don't cover because Sirianni goes for 2, of course. Of course, good stats, good analytics, and the Buccaneers choose not to kick field goal there at the end. Actually, they decide to start kneeling it with like 10 minutes left in the game. Fucking, what are we doing here? How is this even getting here? And then him obviously going forward and not losing a yard on that last particular one, so that he would still remain with 1 yard rushing on the game, so he wouldn't be at 0. He still wanted people to know, but not getting 1.5 and having that plus 900 something 5-leg parlay with almost 39,000 people betting on the damn thing not hitting, AJ. It was a rough night, but I appreciate the fact that it seemed like you were pulling for us at least a little bit.
Yeah, it was, because it looked like it was all checking out. But what do you think of the game, actually? I'm sure you guys have covered it. Like, do you feel better about the Eagles? Do you feel worse about the Eagles? And how do you feel about the Bucs?
Yeah, that's interesting because all the stats and analytics people are talking about how much Sirianni's running the ball and is it too much on Jalen Hurts' plate, which is he's accounted for like 40% of the rushes last night, obviously all of the throws. Sirianni has a lot of faith in Jalen Hurts, I think, so he's kind of doing that. Maybe he's just trying to get him a bunch of like experience this year as they know they're going to have to continue to grow and continue to mold that roster maybe around Jalen Hurts. I enjoy watching Jalen Hurts play football. I think he's an incredibly talented guy. I don't think they have the pieces around him to potentially be a goer right now. They trade away Zach Ertz as well. Who knows what that Eagles team is going to be. But what I took from the game last night is that the Buccaneers are this year's Chiefs. Like, they'll win.
Yeah.
They'll win. Well, we can't trust them to cover. That beginning of that game looked like it was maybe going to be 56-0 the way they came out there. And I don't want to say they got comfortable or relaxed. Maybe they changed up some things. The Eagles claw their way back in there after a great halftime speech from Nick Sirianni, which I'm sure we'll get a chance to hear here in a little bit. But I just like that Bucs team is so fucking deep. You forget O.J. Howard is even on the fucking team. That guy's a stud. Scores a touchdown last night because Gronk is out. It just is a never-ending supply of talent down there in Tampa, and I think that got hammered home last night to me, AJ. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's hard to play with a lead, whether college football, NFL. It's much harder in the NFL than college, but you see this all the time. You get up and, like the coach, you don't have that exact same, like, attack mentality offensively. You just, all right, let's find a way to stay productive, continue to put the points on the board and try to move the ball and not make any huge mistakes.
I want to ask you, because you're a very prolific defensive football player, and we learned yesterday that you used your face as a weapon numerous times. Everybody talks about your helmet being a weapon, but you actually used the face that was underneath the helmet as a weapon because you were able to get a heavier helmet that was able to move, and your face would just handle it when it came in. Like your nose was like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. Use it as a missile if you want to. Yeah, don't worry, it just busts my shit down, but my face doesn't break, actually, so I'll just keep Cobra striking everybody, like we learned that yesterday in that whole thing. But how come, and I've always wondered this, you're obviously incredible defense player, all-time leading tackler for the Packers. Why does prevent happen? You're having all this success with the game plan that you had. You had and what does prevent mean? Does that just mean you're dropping into coverage, you're only rushing 3? And how come teams do it? And were you a fan of it? Did you hate it? Because I always said, if you're beating somebody, like, hey, let's keep, for instance, ping pong. Okay, let's say we're playing ping pong, you and me.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and I'm feeding that busted pinky just in their backhand. And every time I hit it, that ball pops up, okay, and it comes back over, and then I just, how you doing? Guess what? That whole game, I'm just feeding that back. This is going to be boring. This is going to be a boring game for you. You're going to hate it. But I am just feeding that backhand the entire time if I find a weakness. And if this thing ends up 21 zip, 11 zip, whatever you're playing to, I do not care. You get the win. How come it feels like teams sometimes have the perfect strategy, they get up, and then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go into the safe thing now. Why is that? I never understood why that happens.
I mean, it's going to be an argument or like a discussion till the end of time, but there's like prevent means a million different things. Yeah, you're dropping, 7 or 8. You probably 7 at least, and 8 every once in a while. But they just don't want to get beat deep. Like, hey, don't let anything overtop you. Stay on top of everything. Don't let them have an explosive over the top. Catch it in front of them. Make the tackle. Hopefully, keep them in bounds. Keep the clock rolling. That's their plan. But a lot of times that opens up those big windows, especially like those outbreaking routes to the sideline. They're going to make you throw the hard throw, like throw all the way across the field, outside the hash to the numbers.
How come in these amoeba defenses, in these exotic defenses?
What's amoeba mean? I mean? Tell me what amoeba defense means.
You know, dude.
You know.
Ever changing.
I really don't.
Yeah, you do. Like the Clyde.
Hey, you get it.
Don't.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
You go. A little bit. But the amoeba defense, how come nobody's been able to create like a pressure-bringing prevent defense? Can't you just drop the shell and then still try to get pressure? Because everything underneath is what you're asking for them to do anyways.
But how many are you going to bring? It depends on how many you want to bring. Like, are you going to get pressure with your front 4? If you have 4 guys that can get pressure, you can do a lot in the back end, and you can. Yeah, it's nice, but a lot of teams can't get pressure with 4.
There's kind of
so there is no way that you can also make sure nobody gets over your head while also trying to bring people, because in doing so, you're getting rid of people from the back end to get up to the front end.
Yeah, it's like when they see a light box. You hear them say, oh, the quarterback saw a light box, so he checked to run. He sees, 6 in the box. They got 2 safeties deep. This guy doesn't look like he's going to creep down to the box. Here we go. Let's run it.
I just feel like, don't you, and this is probably why we're players, and I think I could tell by your tone there, you are a fan of continuing to bury people. And I think that is most athletic people and competitive people. It's like, hey, I'm okay winning this thing by 60. Like let's not just hang on.
The thing is, though, like
just-
defensively, though, if you want to defend like D coordinators or someone, I can imagine if I'm in that spot and people are saying, "Oh, it's not good. We've been shutting them down all night. Now we're going to do prevent and get killed." Like, let's say you're like, "All right, hey, this third down coming up." You're the D coordinator talks to them. We're going to bring pressure. We're going to bring it, but I need you guys to make sure in the back end you hold up, and you guys better get home up front. All of a sudden, one guy slips, he doesn't get home. Deep ball over the top touchdown. This team's back in the game, and they have momentum. So it's a weird thing. They got to balance.
And I'm not saying I don't know if Tampa did that or not. I'm not diving into that. I haven't watched all 22 yet. I will do that this afternoon.
Okay, good.
I will do that this afternoon.
Thank
and
you.
let everybody know. But it feels like there's always this narrative, like, hey, play like it's 0-0, play like it's 0-0, play like it's 0-0. And then whenever it comes close to like when a game actually matters and you're up, people act like, oh, we're up 14. This is a completely different game now. This is a completely different game. It's like, we're lost in translation. I think I got to see Luck take advantage of this a lot. Andrew Luck, we were down and people would change what they were doing to Andrew. They would change the defense, and all of a sudden, Andrew, we would come back and we would win those
doesn't
games.
seem to happen when offenses go no huddle. They go in like their 2-minute drill, and all of a sudden they become productive, and everyone's like, why didn't they just do the 2-minute all game?
Yeah.
I asked that question so many times. We would watch, Chuck would lay out the keys to victory on Wednesdays. Hey, we gotta eliminate this guy. This guy can't make a play. This guy can't make a play. On the offense, we're gonna do this. And then there would be some games where what we were told on Wednesday for the offensive side was not what we ended up doing because they adjusted, they changed. It was like, hey, we actually got this front instead of this, so we actually did that. And that would kind of be talked about either in a meeting or whatever. But I'd never understood, and somebody with a much higher football IQ than me will have to explain it to me someday. If something is working, why are we going away? Like, why do we get bored with success? Why do you? Because you feel like you have to do something different, and maybe you think it won't work if you continue to do it. But now that you have it, why are we not just hammering this fucking thing away? Like, why aren't we doing that every single time?
I like that.
In every sport, every game, that there is a scoreboard.
I like that. I think a lot of coaches should do that more. Like, hey, you guys prove to us that you can stop this, that you can stop. We're running, like if you're running the ball to the right side, like we're going to continue to run the ball at your right side until you prove to us that you can stop it, and then you move on. But a lot of times too, like coaches, I'm not saying all of them, but I think coaches that aren't as good as others like to change things up just to feel important, just to like, hey, look at this new little wrinkle we got. Look what I'm going to try this week. And then sometimes you get too cute and it backfires on you. But, you have so much time there. You're spending 22 hours a day at the facility guarding your desk. You got to come up with something, don't you?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like almost paralysis by over-analysis because we talk about scoreboard whenever we're talking about the game. There's also a scoreboard for how many hours of film you watched in the coaching ranks, and that's why we talked about AQ a little bit ago. And somebody back there, I don't know if it was Talks Table or Dig, somebody back there in Indianapolis said, hey, what if that round, short-armed friend of yours down there that's a coach said, hey, Tom, fucking back it up a couple yards so they don't hit the same game parlay. What if AQ was potentially on the other side? And I told them, AQ has no idea what our same game parlay is. That motherfucker is watching film all day, every day.
Hell yeah.
And maybe he did. Maybe he did get a little glimpse at what our same game parlay was, and he wanted us to be just as miserable as he potentially is from that coaching lifestyle. But you spend all those hours in there, you find little wrinkles. I'd assume you want to showcase them all. But I think sometimes the shit can just get overcomplicated. Like, hey, if this is working, and you see quarterbacks do it. A corner will come onto the field, and the quarterback will literally just watch them. Okay, we're going to attack that fucking guy until they can stop us. How come that isn't the mindset all the time? I'll never know. I will never know.
Well,
It should be. Go, Connor.
Well, I was just going to say, it seems like that's what's happening with the Chiefs. Like now teams are just rushing for, like the Ravens, when they played the Chiefs, they're like amoeba defense, if you will, was having three guys rush right away. And then they had one guy kind of wait. And then when Mahomes would start to scramble, he was like the second wave of pass rushing. And then you saw with the Bills, they just rushed for, basically dropped everybody back and saw if, Mahomes was patient enough to just kind of check down up and down the field, and they weren't. So it's almost like to what you guys are saying, like as soon as one guy figures out in the film room or whatever, the other teams just kind of copy that, and that becomes the formula to beat some of the best teams in the league, like the Chiefs. And we'll see if anything happens with the Bucs. Probably not, because they're just a complete team. But
They're a wagon. Yeah, they lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
Right? They lost to the Rams in LA. That was a bad look for them. Beat the dog shit out of the Dolphins. Then this game, they looked like they were in control that entire time. I guess there was some momentum that went to Philadelphia, but I don't think anybody – and I was watching without the sound, so I don't know what the commentator was setting the level because Dodgers and Giants is happening out here.
Yeah. It's over now.
Of course.
It's over now, so.
Is it? Who won?
Dodgers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sox are on tonight, so, everyone's rooting for the Sox, right?
Well, the good thing about baseball is none of it matters.
That's the truth.
That's a shame. I should get into it.
Matters
Maybe
to Sean
next
Casey.
year.
No, not tonight. SmackDown.
Hey, big night tonight for SmackDown. Supersize Fox Sports 1. We're going for 2.5 hours.
Let's go.
Wait, so is your last half hour on Fox Sports 1 or is the whole show?
Whole thing's on Fox Sports 1, and the last half
baseball's
hour,
on
I believe,
Fox
is
then, right?
commercial free.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Okay, it's because baseball's on Fox. That's why it's jumping. Okay.
Yeah, and baseball stink. Like, I'll probably bash baseball tonight numerous times.
Have to.
We got to bash.
You got Roman Reigns, and you'd rather watch this guy swing a bat and fail 100 times? What are we even doing here?
Cheating
You know what I mean?
Astros, too. I mean, you got to mention that and how everyone wants the Red Sox to win.
Hey, there's more allegations coming out about the Astros cheating at home.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Listen,
From this year?
When you're on top, when you're winning, everyone's going to take shots at you, okay?
Okay, this is what I would assume. Yeah, AJ, this year. It's coming out like right now. There was this Taco Bell in Morgantown, West Virginia that we frequented.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, we frequented the said Taco Bell a lot. They got shut down because they weren't necessarily using the right type of meat, they were saying, I guess, or something happened with their meat. They were shut down for numerous months. As it was opened back up, people wondered on whether or not people would still be going to this Taco Bell, potentially because of bad PR or whatever. And the answer was, this place is going to be the cleanest Taco Bell on earth because of what just happened. They just got shut down or whatever. So I always assume that's the case on the other side of things. This place is going to be the cleanest place after they get into trouble. So I would assume that the Astros, after the garbage can, the robot thing, everything they had going on with the who knows, and I don't want to take off my shirt, and the cameras and the slow-mos and the deflator was there. Oh, that's a different, there's somebody there, that whole thing. Yeah. I just assume that they'd be locked down so tightly they would never be able to cheat for at least a couple years when people got bored and forgot about it. Mm-hmm. But they're saying that the Astros are cheating. People are saying the Astros are still cheating. I don't even know how that would be possible.
Hey, what are they? I know the boys know. What are they saying they're doing? Do they know how they're supposedly cheating?
There was just video of their swings and misses looked a lot worse on the road versus at home. There's no evidence besides that.
Yeah, and they also did beat the piss out of the White Sox in Chicago to close out the series. So,
All right, boys. It's Feel Good Friday.
Here we go.
And what we do on Feel Good Fridays is you two make picks. Okay?
Ooh. Yeah.
Pat, you are increasingly heating up every single week.
Thank you, Diggs.
AJ, you are going the other direction.
Me too. I'm due.
You do.
Ice him, Dahn. Ice him, Dahn. He's getting cold.
13 more games to pick for this week. Everyone loves when you talk about their teams, so we'll talk about all of them. First game, back in London, Dahn.
Wow.
2 is back starting. The line is 3. Dolphins are -3 in London Town versus the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguars. Things have gotten nice and quiet for Urban over there. AJ, we'll start with you. Who do you like in London this week?
I like the Jags at +3 here as the underdogs. Tua's coming back. I have no idea what the Dolphins are. Same thing with the Jags. I think they rally and they find a way to either win or lose by 1.5.
I think we bet on the Jags last week too, didn't we? I think.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Did not work out.
And I think while watching the Jags, I said, why the fuck am I picking the Jags? That is one of those things while you're watching the game.
If they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, I would say the same. If they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, he's the main reason I'm picking the Jags.
And Urban.
I agree. Love Trevor Lawrence. And what I was about to say is when the camera cuts over to Urban, doing whatever Urban's doing, bent over, or, tossing around the challenge flag like this, you start thinking to yourself, like, what the I picked these fucking people. Why did I put my record on the line with that particular team? Tua's coming back.
Yep.
Give me Dolphins -3. You can alternate spread that thing for -9.5. Wow. Dolphins in London Town. Tua Tagovailoa is back after a painful rib injury. That's how it was described because it was incredibly painful. He had to miss some times. He got carted out of there. He'll be back. They'll be better than ever. Give me the Dolphins. I ain't picking the Jags ever again.
Now we go.
Can't do it.
Now we go.
The Texans are traveling to the Circle City of Indianapolis, Indiana. The Texans are 10-point dogs. Pat's sources revealed that Ty may play on Sunday. AJ, we'll start with you. Colts -10, Texans +10.
I mean, 10-point spread. Are you kidding me? This is the NFL. Like that, I have trouble with those big spreads. So I'm going to have to take the Texans at +10 here, even though I think the Colts are going to win. And I think the Colts are much better than the record. I don't like the 10 points.
Give me the Bucks-Dolphins type game. Colts win this big.
Okay.
Here we go.
Fighting Daves looked good last week, but, they were the Fighting Daves for a reason. Green Bay.
They're the Fighting Daves and the Fighting Dougs, too. I mean, Dougie Mills.
Yeah.
He's giving it his best effort. You know what I mean? Coach Dave Coley's out there. He's losing his mind. But
when it comes
Texans are another team. While watching them play, especially against the Colts, if T.Y. Hilton's back as well, that he has to pass a couple of tests from what I've been told. We'll see. My sources are telling me that he's potentially back. That place is going to be banana land. T.Y. probably have 150, if I had to guess. Give me the Colts by 20.
Packers are -6 traveling to the Bears. Ty and Zito, I believe, will be in attendance. AJ, your alma mater, -6. How do you feel?
I'm going to have to it's going to be a shocker here. I'm going to go with my alma mater, the Green Bay Packers.
Hell yeah.
-6 to travel to Chicago and beat them by more than 6 with Zeke and Ty in attendance. Hopefully they get a good seat and can check it out.
Zeke and Ty were originally going to sit in the 600 level of the game because they got tickets from somebody. I had to plead with them that would make me look like a terrible person if they had to go sit on top of the stadium. So we hopefully got them in a much better place. I think they're going to have a great time. And I think Ty Schmidt is going to be so boozed up in there, dancing on so many graves, having the time of his life. This is a big game for the Packers. And 6 is a lot of points, and I understand this is a big game for the Bears. But NFC North, everybody on the team has talked about the rivalry, the division. Give me the Packers, give me Aaron Rodgers, and I cannot wait to watch and hear about the stories of Zito going, all right, to Bears fans that are potentially wanting to fight Ty. That's what I'm here for.
Bears are also down to their third-string running back, and I believe Ian said that the Packers are going to get some offensive linemen back for that game.
Also, I don't think Allen Robinson, Khalil Mack, or Akeem Hicks practiced yesterday. So.
All right.
Veteran days.
Real quick, though, Ty.
Yeah.
We've all seen the videos in these stadiums, in arenas, of power eating a suckle.
Fisticuffs, yeah.
What are you going to do when you're definitely going to be drunk and the Packers are definitely going to do well this weekend?
Well, we'll see, because I do have to drive back from, so I don't know if I can get super boozed up. But luckily, thank you, Pat, for getting us those better seats, because if we were up in the top deck, watching the All-22, there would have probably been a fight. You get down there with people who are a little bit more classy, I'm guessing that those people, they're just trying to watch a football game. They're not trying to get ear-holed by some fists. So, hopefully I don't get knocked out or punched in the face. But if I do, hey, just part of the story.
Good content.
Punch him right in your mouth.
Hey, go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.
Did you hear Ty say, those peasants up in the top, maybe they're throwing punches.
Yeah,
but down where we are, we're paying way too much money for these tickets. We ain't trying to get knocked out or punched.
I take no offense, because I am one of those peasants. I was thinking, hey, I'm trying to be fiscally responsible here. I will sit on top of the fucking stadium if I have to, if it's cheaper than down there. But, luckily we got a great boss who said, hey, you can't have you guys sitting up there seeing ants run around on the field. We need to get you down close to the field. So I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, couldn't have you looking like Mike Glennon.
Yeah, exactly.
Chiefs travel to the Washington football team. Chiefs are -6.5 on the day that Sean Taylor is having his jersey retired. AJ, who do you like in this one?
I mean, I know you can't really pick on the Chiefs to cover the spread, can you? But I'm going to do it here. Chiefs -6.5.
Washington +6.5. Give me Sean Taylor, the whole thing. That's a little bit of boost. I don't know if the Washington football team wins. I'm not saying that, but they'll keep it within 6.5 strictly because the Chiefs just kind of toy with their food.
Yes. The total is 54.5. It's the highest total of the weekend. Both those defenses stink.
Yeah, McLaurin, Pat, just so you know, McLaurin might not be playing on Sunday.
All right, give me the Chiefs.
Okay, yeah. Just wanted
The Chiefs in a similar spot a couple weeks ago after a loss went to Philly and blew them out. So, similar situation. Minnesota,
give me the Chiefs -6.5. And they'll even, I think, yeah, definitely. Without McLaurin, they got no shot. He's just like throw a punt down and he'll make a play for you guys, steal some points against the other team type play.
Minnesota travels to Carolina. I believe CMC is out. Dalvin Cook, I believe, is in with Justin Jefferson. Thielen, I believe, is also playing. Panthers are home dogs, plus 2.5. Go ahead, Age.
I mean, it's a tough one, but I got to take the Panthers here at home dogs. I think they're going to have a little Sam Darnold's going to have a little bounce-back game, but the Vikings are rolling right now. But, yeah, I still think the Panthers.
You didn't just say Christian McCaffrey's out?
Believe
Yeah.
so.
Did Kirk Cousins and Zimmer just become friends after a fist fight after a celebratory situation?
Best friends. Best friends.
Did Thielen just come on the show rocking one of the cleanest hoodies I've ever seen in my entire life?
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Vikings win big.
Hell yeah.
Bengals travel
They do score a ton of points.
to Detroit. Detroit 3 and a hook dogs at home. This is the cry game. This is the game after the crying. We'll see if it makes a difference. Age, go ahead.
Man. I mean, Joe Burrow's too good. I love as long as Joe stays healthy. I love him here. I like the Bengals here at minus 3.5 to go into Detroit. Unfortunately for Evie and the rest of Detroit, I think the Bengals are just too good right now.
I agree. I'm riding on the Bengals in this particular case because a lot of emotion. 66-yarder.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cry land. I mean, that is not good. I don't know how much more they have, and this could be like maybe they win by a bunch. Maybe the Lions come out and dominate, but also it could go the other way as well, and there has to be we got to regroup and move forward. I like the Bengals.
Rams coming off a extended week because they played on Thursday night last week. -8 at the New York Giants. Daniel Jones practiced today, even though he had the same brain activity as a cucumber on Sunday after he got hit. So that's a wild decision. Giants +8. I can say that. I had a bunch of concussions and CT. AJ.
I don't know how that fares for him Sunday in the game. It's so on your sheet it said +9, didn't it? Is it 8 or 9 right now?
It's 8 right now.
Was that just 2 days ago?
Yeah.
No, I can't take the Giants here.
Pat?
Me neither. Give me the Rams.
Okay.
Daniel Jones was forced to try to walk in that moment, and he couldn't even wobble back to me corner. You know what I mean? Like that was.
How does he
quite a
clear
scene.
protocol?
He's got to be at least a little foggy, and I don't know. You tell me, AJ. You don't think?
No, I'm just saying, I don't know how the protocol is tough to test out of it. So he's already gotten this far to where he practiced today.
Lower baseline.
Yeah,
So
Joe Judge.
baseline, right? So the baseline test is how they judge this whole
Yeah.
thing. And a baseline's like a lot of memory, and you got to judge like numbers and remember designs and patterns. And it's like a 40-minute test, by the way. It is a long thing.
terrible.
Daniel Jones, super intelligent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duke.
So maybe the baseline is not that difficult for his brain style. I don't know. I'm not saying he's gaming the system, but I think we all saw him just a couple days ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That guy's out for at least a couple weeks. That guy should not be getting into a situation where his head is maybe getting rammed into other people's heads yet again just 5 days from now.
I do believe Mara actually just went down and said, "How many fingers am I holding up to?" All right, put your helmet on. You're fucking playing, Dan.
Cardinals are at the Browns. We talked about it a little bit earlier. The line has went from 3.5 now to 3. Browns are the favorites with the news that Chubb's out. Also, Chandler Jones is out. Rodney Hudson's out for the Cards. Undefeated Cards at the Browns, -3. AJ, go ahead.
Chandler Jones being out definitely is a factor for me in this game. I like the Browns at -3 right now, not 3.5.
Yep, correct.
I'll take the Browns at home. I'm looking for Baker to have a big day.
Pat?
I like the under as my bet in this game.
Okay.
But Jarvis Landry's back. Give me the fucking dog back. I just asked last week, are the Cardinals? I just asked last week, are the Cardinals the best team of all time? And now I'm picking against them. This is the shit. This is the shit.
That's
this
the
is why
NFL,
I
baby.
can't take me serious.
That's the NFL. Raiders travel to the Broncos. Bisaccia gets his first start as Raiders head coach. We know you don't bet against a death game. We know you bet against a scandal game. How do you guys feel about betting on an interim head coach game?
This one's tough. Isn't this
Grazie.
tough for you, Pat?
What's that, buddy?
This one's kind of tough for me because sometimes they can rally behind the interim head coach at least for a week or two. So I'm going to take the Raiders here at +4.
Give me the Italian. Give me the Paisan. Give me
the Comp, who I just learned that word the other day. Shout out to Diggs and Coach Diggs for that one. But give me the guy who just last week had his crew. I don't know who it was. Secondary might have been DBs. I don't know who it was. Maybe it's his special teamers, where he says, Hey, look, here's my daughter, my granddaughter's new boyfriend. Let's fucking stare him down real quick. And then they get back in and go, pride on 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. I think that guy has the locker room on his side. The Broncos, listen, I know they started undefeated.
Yeah.
I know they started undefeated. Okay. I'm a big fan of the Broncos. Love the laws they have in the city that they reside in.
Oh, yeah.
Love everything that's going on. Give me Bisaccia, grazie, the 4 points. Give me that. All day, every day, like a meatball, not on a sub, on some pasta.
Okay.
Right over here.
Cowboys, the best ATS team in the NFL right now. I believe they are 5-0 ATS. -3 travel up to New England. I believe Romo and Nance are on the call if Romo can get off the floor from last night. Cowboys -3, New England Patriots +3.
I don't know exactly what happened. What happened with Romo?
There's videos of him. Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
There was a fundraiser that happened last evening where Tony Romo was to interview Jim Nance, I believe. And a lot of people paid a lot of money. Tony enjoyed the event. Tony enjoyed the event. I think there was a little couple. I think he bonged some, maybe. I think he got after it. People were saying he was a little boozed up. He embarrassed himself in public, which I'm sure a lot of people have done whenever they were drunk, especially for Tony Romo. He's going to have to apologize for it, I assume. I don't think he did anything that will make him, not be allowed to speak in public again. I don't think he said anything, but he definitely was a little bit boozed up on stage and on him with a microphone.
What's he have to apologize for, though? Did he say something offensive?
Not really.
No,
just being a dipshit.
Made an ass out of
Then why would you
himself.
apologize?
No, I guess Nance had to apologize to the crowd for how drunk he was.
Yeah,
and
they had
stuff.
to
and how much money? I assume
He's probably
if
saying,
Tony
hey,
Romo's-
sorry that we entertained you. Wouldn't you? If you paid a bunch of money to go to a stuffy event, wouldn't you be like, this is awesome? The dude got drunk and actually had a good time.
Yeah, but the people that are paying the amount of money to go to an event for Tony Romo to interview Jim Nance at, there's no way that is not how they view it. Now, us, if we were going to this event, if we were going to this event, we go, oh, this is fucking great. Actually, some of the videos that I saw coming out from the event where Tony was just rambling, telling stories.
God.
It was awesome. It was awesome, man. I thought that's what the narrator of the video was going to be like. Tony's drunk talking, right? I thought it was not that. They're booing him. They are not happy. They had to send the hook up on the stage.
It's a tough crowd, man.
I assume it's like $10,000 a plate at this place.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to review these videos. Yeah, I would think, man, we got an absolute bonus. I'm gonna double what I gave because we actually saw something.
Hey, can I buy a Tony Romo drunk experience for me?
Yeah, for real. Go on tour.
All right, who do you like, Gage?
I don't even know who's playing.
3. Cowboys at the Pats. Cowboys are -3.
Cowboys -3 all day for Connor.
Go to hell.
Pat.
What was that confidence all about? Why was that? I didn't expect that.
You're talking to me?
Cowboys is a team.
Yeah.
It's Dak Prescott. Their defense is unbelievable. What are you talking about? 3 points? Absolutely. The Patriots, can the Patriots keep up with the Cowboys offense? Do you think? I do not believe.
Yeah, but Bill Belichick's Bill Belichick. He's going
Yes,
against
he is.
Kellen Moore.
Bill Belichick is unbelievable. He is unreal, and he will be on the field for 0 plays.
Kept
in
up
that game.
kept up with the Bucks.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And the Texans.
He did a great job against all of those teams. I just don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna lose this game.
Pat.
I'll take the Cowboys. I'll ride with you. I was going with the Pats until you were that confident. The Cowboys fucking guarantee. I did not expect that out of you. I honestly, I did not. So I'll ride with you on this one. I don't love it. I think that feels like something that Bill Belichick will be able to figure out, him versus Kellen Moore. I'm not 100% sure, but let's go. This is big for Big Mike, Big Dak. We love Big Dak football down there. And Kellen Moore gets a chance to do his thing as he gets more and more comfortable in his position.
All right, last game before we get to a break and then get to Cast Dog on the other side. Seattle is going to Pittsburgh with Geno Smith. Sunday Night Football. -5.5 for the Steelers in Steel City.
Man, so the Steelers 5.5 point favorites. I got to go the other way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Feels like that's what they want us to do, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they run the show. I mean, last night, are you kidding me? 6.5 is the line, and the game ends like that at 6. Get out of here.
Yeah, but we always do this. They're wrong, too.
They are.
These motherfuckers are wrong, too. Especially when you're paying attention to it every day, like the Hammer Down boys are.
Yeah, Chiefs
but
were
whenever
favored
they
by
get
3
it
last
that
week.
close, it is alarming.
You know, it is, especially when a quarterback rushes for 1 yard, you know?
Yeah. Oh, man.
And their over-under is 1.5, you know? Feels like they want us to take the Seahawks here.
Who's they?
You know.
I don't
Give
think
me the
about that.
Seahawks.
I'm thinking about myself.
Zito just came into my ear. That's my fault. I missed the game.
Oh, you did?
Oh, Dilf. I never would have guessed you're bouncing around like ages.
It's not
you didn't go
Dilf.
through the order.
It's,
You're right. You didn't
it's
go through
different.
the
It's
column,
Big Ben's
did you?
shirt, okay? Built different.
Shocking.
And actually, it's actually
Dilf, which
it's actually
is also Big Ben.
It's actually
Stop
he
it,
is.
guys.
He is.
Let's
a
all
Dilf.
talk over each other.
It's actually a
You
big
stop.
game too. Chargers are at the Ravens. Chargers are plus 2.5 at the Ravens. 1 o'clock start. 10 a.m. Start time for the Chargers over here.
Chargers
this is a
for me,
massive
Pat.
game.
Yeah, it's a massive game.
Huge game. I got the Chargers plus 2.5. Absolutely.
I got the Ravens minus 2.5. Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay.
Let's go.
I was trying to sway you with my confidence.
I know. I heard it. I heard it in there. It was a good sell. It was a good sell.
Pat, what's your plan? Do you have to bounce out or?
I know. I got. I'll call you here in a second. We'll figure it
Okay.
out. You, Cast Dog, AJ, and the boys. I gotta. There's some.
Okay.
That sounds
I'm in a nightmare.
We'll be back in 4 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Mad Dog Radio, Channel 82, CN4.
You have got to experience so many things, both as a businessman off the field and on the field. Is there a moment when I ask this question and pops your mind, like, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen in your entire life? Because there was a time there where it felt like you were just getting dropped into insane situations and the world was like watching you do things. Man vs. Wild, you and that Bear Grylls guy, fucking electric. That was maybe the most electric shit I've ever seen. Is there anything that you think of whenever you think, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you've been a part of?
Probably some of the most ridiculous shit I ever been a part of was, I had got the restaurant which I'm in right now, and when we first got it, I would come in here and I would clean up and go outside in the front, sweep up, make sure everything looked nice and shit. And one morning I got up here and I noticed, damn, this is a funky ass smell. And I looked, to the side of my front door, and it's a big ass pile of shit. And I'm talking about human shit.
Yeah,
and it's right on the side of the door. So I was like, somebody done came and popped the shit right in front of the door. Like, oh, this shit is crazy. Like, I can't be in here serving food. Motherfucker come walk in and they smelling straight ass cheeks when they come in there. Like, I don't think that's the restaurant I need to eat in. So, man, I get the water hose and I'm hosing it down. And, I see, we got a couple, dolphins that usually walk back up in front. Hey, man, did you do this? Like, oh, no. So, one of them owned up to it. I said, man, check it out. So you don't do this no more. Look, you come by here, we get you we get you a broom and you help us, we help you. You feel me? And we put together a little I put a proposition together for him, and I ain't cleaning up shit no more.
It's a win-win. It's a win for everybody on that one. Hey, one of your former teammates. Yeah. Hey, everybody wins. You're helping the people, man. That's awesome. That's why people love you. But hey,
one of them owned up to it. Just a line of questioning. The line of questioning.
His name is
Willie.
Willie owned up to. Matter of fact, he just left out. He's saying, sweeping up. He like, hey, what's up? Oh boy, I've been looking for you. You feel? Okay. Yeah, we bust down together up in the front of the restaurant to get it all cleaned up and everything.
Hey, you're helping people. Hey, Willie went from shitting outside to working inside. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go, Willie. Let's go.
Give it up for my boy Willie, man.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I am Tone Diggs. Pat is in Ontario, California for Smack Dahn. I believe he's gone for the rest of the show. So it's just me. The Toxic Table.
Here we go. Did he die?
AJ Hawk. He didn't die.
Shut up, AJ.
Why do you have to do that? I hope you blow up. And
so mysterious on how he left.
He's got stuff to do, dude.
I'll tell you about it later, okay? Okay?
We only wake you up for the important meetings.
Idiot. Don't worry, it's not just us, though. We are joined by, and we thank him for doing this, because he probably has no fucking clue who I am. We are joined by a man who would be a multiple Super Bowl champion winner and Heisman Trophy winner if it wasn't for fucking politics.
That's right.
At New England and USC. He should have been starting over Brady and Castle and all those guys. He is Matt Castle. Yeah! We welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show, Cast Dog Matt Castle.
Yeah!
Boys! Hey, isn't today like Feel Good Friday is from what I understand on this show, right?
It is, Matt. Yeah.
Is it Feel Good Friday? I don't know. I got to give a shout out to my boy Zito who gets me on this show. Bear down. What's up, Zito?
Bear down.
Yeah, here we go. And then Boston Connor's got to be there, right?
Let's go, Cast Dog.
Well, are we fired up, dude?
Yeah.
We got the Boston Red Sox going to the ALCS.
Sail day, baby.
Woo! How great is Yankee Way going to be? Let's be honest. The brats and beer, the smell, the parade, the excitement. It's going to be fired up, man. AJ, what's up, brother? You're back from one of those golf trips, or what's going on?
Yes, you're right. I'm here today. Pat took off for some reason. Now, you mentioned baseball. I remember seeing you. Was it your brother who was an HBO show way back in the day, like a reality show? He's a pitcher, I think, and that's when I became aware of your brother. So I don't know how many years ago that was.
Yeah, we were the Kardashians before the reality circuit really started getting going. My younger brother, Justin, actually they came up to him, and there was a show on HBO called Freshman Year. And what they did is they followed different students around, and it was hilarious because he was like considered like the jock, right? They had the jock, they had the student council kid, this, that, and the other. Of course, they follow him into Spanish one day, and they're filming it, and this poor kid's sitting there, and they said, Justin, will you read this? And he goes, como se llama? And I was like, oh, no, como se llama, brother? Let's figure this out. Dude, you're playing into the stereotype. But, yeah, we were definitely on HBO special. I wasn't really there. I was more of like the background noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, it was a good show, man. I know your brother went on to pitch after that. All you guys are all stud athletes. So I've seen you have, two brothers? I know you were all state in 3 sports in high school. Is that right?
And 2. I played baseball and football. And then my older brother was drafted by the Padres. Had some time up in the bigs, had a few starts, had a few wins. My younger brother was actually drafted in the 7th round by the White Sox. And poor kid, he was a stud, went to the AA All-Star team. And then the second year, full season, he was in AAA, blew out his arm in like the 3rd game of the season. Rotator, labrum, never was able to recover. But he was a talented player too.
Cast Dog.
Yo.
What the fuck is going on? You were incredible. The greatest guest host on Good Morning Football that this office has ever seen.
By a mile.
And what? They just throw you to the curb and you haven't been back since?
That's it, bro. That's it. I get a 2-day stint, and they said, thanks for coming, and got a trip to New York. It was great. Got to shake hands, kiss babies, It was a good time. That's a fun show. It really is a fun show. But yeah, it was a 2-day stint, and that's it. They're like, see you, Castle. I don't know where you fit into this show. So what can you do?
Cass Dog, I have a question for you. Last night, so like when you watch Jalen Hurts play, he's obviously incredibly athletic. But we've talked on this show a bunch of times that like accuracy is kind of the one thing that you just can't teach. Guys either have it or they don't, and it seems like he's missing open receivers a lot on plays that could go big. Do you think that's something guys can develop while they're in the league, or is it one of those things where if you're not accurate, you're just never going to be?
There's particular things that you can do, right? And it starts with mechanics and all that stuff, but at the same time, it's getting a feel for your young receivers that they have, a lot of them. He's physically talented. I mean, and if you go back and even watch last year when he first started out, I was impressed with his ability to throw the football and get the ball down the field. He's got a really strong arm, but like you said, when you're throwing the ball down the field 30, 40 yards anyway, I mean, your level of success goes way down. Your probability goes way down because you're firing a ball 40 yards downfield. And they've been trying to get the ball downfield. And that's the thing about the Philadelphia Eagles offense. It's not a ton of short intermediate passes. It's, they're taking shots down the field trying to get themselves back in the game. And they really haven't had much of a run game either. They've kind of abandoned it. And at times they've had to because they got behind in these games. But again, you can see the talent. It's one of those things, though. He's got to develop the down-the-field passing game. He's got to be more accurate because in order to be successful and have longevity in the league, that's a key component of it for sure. Full show!
How do you do that, though? Hey, how do you improve your down-the-field accuracy other than just doing it in, like, the situations when it matters the most? Do you have to throw into the net, like how we see A-Rod in training camp dropping dimes from 60 yards into a tiny little hoop? Like, how do you actually get better?
I mean, it's one of those special things that you either got it or you don't, and you can work on it as much as possible. And it's about the trajectory of the ball, and also the player that you're throwing to, right? Like working on those back shoulders, working on the ability to not overthrow a guy. Instead, somebody that can go up and compete for balls and contested balls, give him an opportunity to go up and make that play. And sometimes it's just learning about your personnel as well, right? This guy can go, so I got to get the ball down the field right now. I thought he made a tremendous throw, and I forget who it was. It was down the right field sideline, and they didn't hit it, but I thought it was a catchable ball. And it's one of those things that it's hard to rep like those down the field throws, like you're saying, AJ, in practice, right? When you have the wide receivers out there and then all of a sudden you go to a separate period and you want to work on something. Well, those guys don't want to run go routes. They don't want to run post routes. So it's not something that you can consistently work with these guys because, one, you don't want to run them into the ground before Sunday. But number two, it's just something that it's hard to get those reps on a consistent basis. You know what I'm saying?
Cass Dog, always a pleasure to talk to you. You're an absolute nuclear weapon. We saw online that there's a couple pranks that you pulled on Brady. Can you elaborate on some of those? And also, did you paint that masterpiece sitting behind you today?
You know what? I would love to take credit for that, but I have no idea where my wife got that from. Somebody in Nashville, let's be honest. But yeah, it's a beautiful barn, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
and I'm big into art. Don't kid yourself. No, I'm not. I have no idea about that whatsoever. But in terms of pranks, yeah, I mean, we had like this back and forth prank war going on for just a little while until Belichick got wind of it. But what really happened was, so I'd go into the lunchroom and Brady would always sit right by the door. So I'd swing the door open and he'd be like, "Castle, you're going to give me a concussion. You're going to hit me with the door. Slow down." Because I'm a bull in a china shop, man. I'm coming in. I'm bringing my lunch.
Hell yeah.
Well, he put his foot right up against the door, and my lunch went everywhere, all over me. I was pissed. So then I was like, all right, that's fine. So those old school Gatorade shakes that were like 60 grams of carbohydrates and stuff? I went and filled up. He would always wear these like old school Air Force Ones. I filled those things up to the brim. Then I got that atomic bomb that you'd rub on yourself. AJ, you know what I'm talking about, the atomic bomb that you put on your muscles. I put it all in his underwear. And so I did that. Next thing I know, I'm walking out to my car feeling pretty good about what I just did. And he comes and dumps a full shake on me from head to toe, like sneaks up, boom. I dump a trash can on. So then the next day I come in and he's saying, you have, until practice to apologize and start calling me Daddy Longshanks. I'm like, Daddy Longshanks? It's like a Braveheart reference. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, the next thing I'm going to do, it's going to be way worse, right? I'm going to do something like, go to the bathroom in your helmet or something. Nonetheless, so I come in off the practice field. We got done with warm-ups, and he had warned me, but I was like, whatever, he's not going to do anything. I come in, and there's literally 3 tires from my car in front of my locker. The 4th one's hidden somewhere in the facility. I go out, and I look. My car is on blocks, dude. Like completely on blocks. Had to get a ride home for like 3 or 4 days before I started calling him Captain Longshanks for a little while. And I don't know the obsession with Captain Longshanks. I would have gone with something a little bit different, like Captain America. But nonetheless, finally got my car, my tires back. And then, of course, the linemen, like Matt Light and those guys were all pranksters too. So what they did was one day we're going up and we went to the second level to do walkthroughs when it was cold outside. And they had stuffed his car with those foam peanuts. Those things that literally filled it to the brim, put confetti in his air conditioning unit, all the things. And they're like, Castle, way to go, dude. You got him again. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's going to blow up my car. I don't know what the heck he did, because they were trying to pin it on me. But then Belichick got a hold of it, and he's like, look, this isn't World War III. You guys need to stop this shit before somebody gets hurt. And so at that point, we kind of shut it down. But, yeah, that was kind of the main prank thing that went on. And I do remember thinking, it's a good lesson. Just don't mess with people that have more money than you do.
Cast Dog, speaking of Tom, Pat lost a bet last night. Pat took over 1.5 rushing yards for Tom Brady, which he was over. And then the kneels at the end of the game took him back under his rushing total. But like we've noticed in the past, like Tom does not like to take a kneel too far back. Like, because he talked about that, like he doesn't like losing rushing yards.
He doesn't like losing rushing yards. He doesn't like losing at anything. He's like the most competitive human being ever. And I don't really get it. Look, you're taking a knee at the end of the game. The only reason you're taking a knee at the end of the game is because you won. So who cares if you get -2 versus -1? But at the end of the day, that's kind of his deal. He tries to eliminate the negative rushing yards because people already look at him as a guy that doesn't have much athleticism, but he can throw the hell out of the ball. I'll tell you that much.
AJ?
Yeah, he can't. When you're going back to your pranks with Belichick, when he's telling you this and he's watching it all play out, do you think he secretly loves it, though, that you guys get along enough to actually do these kind of things?
I'm sure. I think it adds to the locker room. It adds to the camaraderie. And, I mean, Matt Light was one of the legendary pranksters of all time. Like, he was a guy that went in, and those little laser pointers that you had? So he got one that would zap the hell out of you. And so the Skarnecki and his offensive line coach always would use it. So he switched it out one day, and all of a sudden he comes up and starts zapping himself. He's like, God damn it, oh my God, like just screaming like crazy. Well, Light even went into Belichick's office, and I'm telling you, he changed out his mouse and put the shocker on his mouse. Well, Belichick's in there doing work. Well, Belichick pushes this thing. It zaps the hell out of him. He spills his coffee onto his computer, and I guess he was doing like this elaborate report. Oh, dude, he was pissed. He lit in to Matt Light. So that kind of stuff, maybe he didn't enjoy, but I do think he enjoyed the antics of the locker room, and he understood that was kind of the culture of a locker room, and that's what brought people together. And it's the fun stuff that you remember like that is always a blast as a player. I mean, those are some of my fondest memories, when everybody's having fun and you can tell these jokes and pranks that maybe the outside world won't always understand, but inside that locker room, it's a lot of fun.
Casta, we got like 1.5 minutes till our hard break. It's Sirius. So if you go over, that's no big deal. But I just have to let Sirius know. If you want to hear the rest of this, go over to YouTube, youtube.com/Pat McAfee Show. I had a question for you. There's a question going around the internet right now, and it's Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert. Which of those 5 would you take right now to start your franchise?
Start your franchise. I mean, I'm in love with Justin Herbert. I love the fact, like, who he is, the type of player, his mental toughness, and also his intelligence. And I go back, and the reason I say this, every one of those guys you could start a franchise with, and every one of those guys you can make an argument that, hey, that's why I pick him for a number of different reasons. Obviously, the athleticism, the ability to throw the ball. But Justin Herbert, you go back to his first start, even last year against Kansas City. Look, he's sitting there in the locker room going through the course of the week, probably running scout team, and all of a sudden Tyrod Taylor comes in and they puncture his lung. This guy was on the field getting ready to go out and play, and then all of a sudden they come up to him and say, hey, by the way, we know you didn't get any reps, and we know this is last minute, but you're starting today in just about 30 minutes. And he goes out and takes the defending Super Bowl champions at the time all the way to overtime. And that spoke volumes to, like, how he can handle pressure situations, not blinking, and a guy that can just go out and play regardless of the circumstance. And from that point on, he's just got better every single week. And he's got weapons out there. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, he's the guy that makes that offense for the Chargers roll. And I love just where he's going to go and where he's going to be in the future too. I really do like Justin Herbert.
Cast Dog, that was an incredible answer, and we can't thank you enough for joining us on this Feel Good Friday. I feel like you're such a Feel Good Friday person, though.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything you just want to like get off your chest or say to anyone before we let you out of here about Feel Good Friday and what type of weekend maybe you're gonna have?
You know, it's going to be a great weekend, boys, and it's Feel Good Friday leading in to my son's 6th birthday. Let's go. Big Clay Castle's turning 6. This dude's a monster. He loves sports. He loves baseball, football. He's a Dodger fan, so don't kid yourself. We were pretty fired up about the win last night against the San Francisco Giants, knocking off the rival. So I'm pretty fired up about that. We'll have a lot of fun with him this weekend.
Cast Dog, have fun this weekend. Tell him we said happy birthday. Obviously, Pat, we'll say the same thing. Come back on anytime you want. Good luck this weekend. Appreciate everything.
Appreciate you, boys. Have a great one. Fired up.
Thank you, Cast Dog. All right, we are back at 2:02 for Hour 3 of the Pat McAfee Show. That will also continue on SiriusXM Mad Dog Radio. Ready to.
Smarter than you, I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm a better person than you are.
No.
Yeah.
I fed the birds this morning, so I'm a better person than you are.
Yeah, but you don't care about, the ozone as much as I do. So do you even like to breathe? That means you don't even like the birds. You don't want the birds to be able to breathe or fly because you want the ozone to be ruined because you're a fucking asshole.
Is that right? Then how come I rollerblade to the supermarket every Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, did that make you feel good? Rollerblading, flattening the earth a little bit closer to the center so it can get hotter so then the heat comes from the ozone because you're pressing down the earth with your little rollerblades?
Well, yeah, but
I'm a better person than you are.
No, because on Wednesdays I'm planting trees and I'm trying to bring the earth back to what it was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're cutting up other trees' roots, though. What a fucking asshole. You prick. Yeah. Why can't you just let earth be the way it's be? You got to take your shovel and dig into it? Wow. I'm a better person than you are.
I know. I make my own manure. I make my own soil. I'm not chopping up any other roots.
So you don't like cows. You don't like cows pooping.
I
hate farmers. Unbelievable. You hate farmers. Oh, you don't like a head of cows. You don't like burgers?
Then how come I'm in the Farmers Association of America and I'm going to help?
Oh, you're a lifetime member of the FFA. Hey,
yeah, that's right.
That's what I make. I'm a better person than you are.
No, you're not. I'm a better person than you are.
That's politics, baby. That's what we just did right there. Let's get to the phones. Once again, I think we batted 1,000.
Boom.
In politics with what we just did right there.
How about that?
I do believe after that argument, though, people would say I was a better person than fucking you are, dude.
No, because everyone I just read on Twitter was like, oh my God, this guy rollerblades. I need to start doing that too.
No, that's because you mute all the other people that are actually on my side. They're telling you you're not the right person.
No, I refuse to mute anybody because I love everybody.
Oh, you like freedom of speech. How come then you're not going to listen to
everybody? I do love freedom of speech. That's why I'm not muting anybody.
I'm better than you are.
No, I'm better than you are.
Everybody's saying it.
No.
Yeah, everybody's saying I'm a better person than you are.
I heard it.
We just did, by the way, still batting 1,000 on politics. I feel so good about it. We even got into the reaction to the punditry.
Yes.
We're batting a fucking 1,000 out there.
Every side.
The people say we're not well-rounded. We don't have depth. Did you hear what we just fucking did?
Come on.
Wow. Let's go to the phones, man.
Did you hear everything that was being said whenever you were potentially...
Just from you.
Oh, so you did hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, let's address it.
Hold on.
All right.
You can be a hater.
No!
You can change.
Carson.
You can change. We can change your
No,
opinion.
at the moment I was at, okay, Carson. You know, with the Daily Show, the live Daily Show, we can potentially get referred to as prisoners of the moment. You probably did hear me say some things. That was at a much different time.
Backtrack a little.
No!
It's cool. We're here face to face. You can change. People change, all right?
By the way, you are much bigger than I thought you were.
Oh, yeah.
When Jalen gets drafted there, was that the beginning of it all? Was there a miscommunication? What happened between you and Doug? Because they were saying it was fractured beyond repair.
Yeah.
What happened there? Is all of that accurate? Is that all kind of getting blown out of proportion?
Yeah.
And where did it start?
For one, I don't like to ever come out and say reporters aren't telling the truth because I don't. But
Orlovsky does it.
I'm not. I'm not going to dispute every report that's out there. The way the season went obviously wasn't ideal. When Jalen was drafted, that had no bearing on me. I trusted the organization. Okay. I signed that contract. I was devoted to them, and I felt like they were devoted to me. So I trusted the pick. That had no bearing on my confidence or my abilities. The season unfolded not how I would have liked it. Personally, I could have played better. We lost a lot of games at the end and just didn't fall into place the way we wanted. But there's a lot to learn from it, as a man, as a player, and all those things. And I have still a lot of respect for Coach Peterson, and I think without a doubt those reports are very exaggerated. Like I said, I don't hear a lot of them. They come to my attention from my agents or different things.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of respect for him, and it was unfortunate for everybody and how the whole thing kind of just went down.
There was a couple still shots that made its way around where you and Doug Peterson appeared to be giving each other a nasty look.
I saw those.
It's not true.
Not true at all.
Oh, you were not saying, I wish you died. With your
I don't even think I was looking at him in those shots. So I did see that. I'm like, of course, they're going to play this one up. They're gonna make a story out of anything. That's how it is. So, but yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay, so I'm happy to hear you weren't giving Doug Peterson death looks. Like, you never thought, like, oh, football isn't for me. Like, there was never a thought where I don't like football anymore. Or I don't want to be in this bullshit league anymore with this business. There was never a thought like that.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. The way the season went, I mean, it was frustrating. And
People
so
have those
that's why I stepped away, and it almost rejuvenated me. It's almost like last year pissed me off so much. I want to come back in a different way and do everything I can. I am thrilled to be here and to have this new start, new opportunity, and community seems amazing. Fan base seems
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I am Tone Diggs. We are currently on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Radio, and the YouTube.
Man, Tony, timing's just getting better and better.
Go, Tony.
Welcome back to Feel Good Friday. It's been a great fucking Friday.
It has.
It has.
AJ, I love your Centerville Elks long sleeve tee. How the fuck are you doing, dude? Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
I'm doing great. I still want to see these Tony Romo videos, and I 100% don't understand why Pat said he's going to apologize.
No, I don't think there's not going to have to be like any like public apology. I don't think. It was just him on stage, and you could just tell that he was visibly very drunk. And then like there was a couple tweets like that saying Tony Romo needs to apologize for people that were in attendance. But unless videos come out, I don't. He's not going to have to.
But okay, like no matter who you are, though, if you go to one of these events, if you go to something, and say, oh, Tony Romo's going to interview Jim Nantz, or say any former football player, former athlete's going to interview someone, I would say best case scenario is dude gets drunk and starts telling stories that are awesome that he normally doesn't tell.
Yeah, he's made a couple comments about like the rich people in the room and the poor people in the room, like specifically that. And then also they talked about him getting yanked off. They actually did have to send somebody up there to pull him off the stage. And he like woke up his kids apparently because it was a charity event for like children, I guess. And it was just not very good from him. Nance already apologized on his behalf, but apparently it was very awkward in there and uncomfortable for people.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what he said. I'm not like defending what he said because I have no idea, but looking from the outside in, like, okay, it's not that big a deal. But I guess it probably would have been kind of awkward being in the room at that night. Maybe at some point we'll talk to somebody that was there.
Yeah, maybe we will.
Very possible.
Hour 3, Feel Good Friday. It's just you and the fucking Bugle Boys. So buckle up. We will get to some phone calls. 1-833-4-McAfee. It's 1-833-4-McAfee. So we will get to those. What were you going to say?
First off, I want to ask about your shirt. So that's the shirt Ben wore into camp this year, right?
Yep, different.
And what is it? Is it his shirt or is it?
I think there's.
Is it Nike? What is it?
No, it's MT. It's not Mike Tomlin though. I checked. I think it's just some like local designer that he partnered with, and I believe the proceeds are going to a charity.
Oh,
nice.
So, how do you think about them? Like honestly, when you sit down, when you lay your little head on your pillow at night and you're thinking about the Steelers, how do you feel about them, honestly, this year and their chances to do anything?
Honestly, if I had to take a guess, they will finish 8-9. We'll get a middle-of-the-road draft pick. It's not going to help us at all for the future as far as quarterback is concerned. Yeah. They'll be competitive because they're always competitive. the games that they're gonna have trouble beating teams with really good offenses because they're gonna have trouble scoring obviously all year. I think. Like this weekend though, I'm actually very nervous because they always play terrible against backup quarterbacks. I know it's stupid of me to say that I would have rather played Russell Wilson, but they always play terrible against backup quarterbacks. Why is that? Is that just because the whole team lets down? Like they always would go. They lose like Terrell Pryor. Bruce Gradkowski on the road. They lost last year to fucking what's his name with Cincy, who's not even there anymore. I don't think. Like they always lose these backup quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, you could the old cliche thing, don't you think, would be to say, oh, well, they didn't have any tape on them. They don't have any film on them. Once they get some film, they can game plan around them. I think that's a bit of a cop out at times. Yeah, if a guy comes, let's say Peyton Manning is the starter, he goes down, and his backup is Michael Vick. Yeah, then you're going to have two very different options at quarterback that you're going to have to prepare for differently. But when it's someone that has like similar skill set and doesn't play in a completely different way, I don't know, something about the rhythm, something about that. Sometimes backups have like some weird energy to them where they can get rolling for a while and it's tough to stop.
Is playing down to teams a real thing? Like if your team's, because last year I remember the Rams were doing pretty well and the Bucks, and then the Jets came in and somehow beat them both. Like, do you play down to teams if you're like, all right, this is the Jets, they stink, we've seen them on tape, they're not good, and then all of a sudden when you go out there and you're not like really ready to play a game and they jump up to an early lead, you kind of panic? Like, is that a thing?
That's definitely a thing. And even if you don't mean to, like I think subconsciously it happens at times. And it's the whole thing. Didn't Chuck even say earlier this week, when you're winning and say you're winning and you're doing well, that's when you're hardest on your team because you don't want to let them let up. And then if you're doing bad, you got to always pump them up and tell them, hey, we're still good. So you're always fighting between those two, I guess. And yeah, the tough thing is going into some of those games that maybe that you're supposed to win on paper. You show up, man, and it's just a different atmosphere. The stadium feels different. Yeah. It's definitely a 1 o'clock kickoff, and it's just weird. Doesn't have the electricity that either like a 425 or a night game would have, or a huge matchup that like there's a bunch of juice surrounding this game.
AJ, before we get to the phones, the internet's been clamoring. How are the Columbus, Ohio Clemson Tigers 8-year-old football team doing?
We're doing it. It's an up and down season, that's for sure. We don't want to climb on the roller coaster. We're always trying to get better. We have our last game this weekend.
Wow. Last game? Have you won yet?
Yeah, we've won like 3 times, 2 or 3 times.
Shit. Yeah. Okay, because you were 0-3 to start the season, I think, so I was worried.
Yeah, how's the defense?
I think we're 0-2 to start.
Okay.
How's the defense looking? Just like, because I remember you were kind of involved a little bit. Oh, okay.
This should be good. What?
Okay. Hey,
I can tell you're setting something up.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. I just wasn't sure, at this point in the season, how many coaches are like involved with the offense, how many coaches are involved with the defense, as far as being on the field and kind of helping the guys getting lined up and stuff.
I don't know. Well, you can only have one coach on the field at a time, but we're all involved. We have 3, 4, 5 coaches depending on the day. We're all involved in everything.
Oh, okay. Are you on the field then, or
no? I'm not on the field usually.
Up
Sometimes
in the booth.
Oh. Headset on
Up
in the stands?
Yeah.
There's no headset. No, unfortunately, no headsets for these 8-year-olds in our league.
Okay.
Age, I wanted to ask you about Bisaccia and the Raiders this weekend. I assume you have not had to do with this, or maybe you have. You talked about it earlier, and I thought about maybe taking the Raiders this weekend because, if the team likes him, and it's happened before in the past, the team will get up for an interim coach for a game or two, right?
Yeah, they absolutely can, and they didn't lose their. Well, was Gruden, was he calling the offensive plays or not?
I assume he was heavily involved in that, yeah.
Pretty sure he was.
Then that's a big deal for their offense. But, I mean, who knows? I think it also, not only does it depend how much they like this coach and how much they're going to, I guess, rally around Coach Ritchie, but did they like Gruden? Do you think let's say the majority of the team didn't really like Gruden, that means that they should play better this game, don't you think?
Well, in this situation, too, I was listening to Lombo talk. I think Bisaccia's been with Gruden for a while. Them being friends, does that negatively affect how the team looks at him now going forward, or do they treat him as his own individual?
I mean, I'm sure it's split, honestly. Or Bisaccia's going to have to let them know, hey, yeah, you have to just be upfront about it, I guess, because I'm sure he's thinking the same thing. Players, he looks at them, he's like, hey, I understand. I've been with Gruden for a long time. But he's got to somehow address it, which I'm sure he already has. And the players there know, though. Even if he's friends with Gruden, they know, he may not have the exact same personality and same views as John Gruden, and they already know that, though. So he doesn't have to regain their trust. I think they either trust him or they don't already.
Well, and like the bunker mentality that we've talked about so many times, it's like everyone, it seems, is like, oh, okay, so the Raiders season's over. They're on to next year. They have an interim head coach. The place is burning down. Like for Derek Carr and everybody in that building, it's all on them, and they could just come together over this, even though it's a terrible thing, obviously.
Well, and also like I feel like most of the time when it is an interim coach situation, like the season is over. You know what I mean? Like that team has no chance of making the playoffs or anything. They're 3.
It never happens this early, does it?
No,
It
definitely
usually doesn't
not.
happen this early.
And with their winning record.
Yeah, they're 3-2. They still have the entire they could still very much make the playoffs if these guys buy in and everything kind of changes.
All right.
Man, I don't know. I picked him, right? Didn't I pick him?
Yeah,
you did.
Good. There we go.
+4.
Let's head out to the 5-hour energy phone line. Nick, can we go to Ross in Wisconsin, please? He's looking. I think he's going to do it.
Here we go, Ross. Hey. Promo code McAfee.
Ross, how you doing? Oh, yeah, shit.
Hey,
I'll
can
do
you
it
guys
next
hear me?
time. Yeah, we can hear you. Promo code McAfee.
Awesome.
Receive time. So,
So,
go ahead, Ross.
yeah, I'm Ross in Wisconsin, and I want to start off with, Ty. I'm a fellow Packer fan. I bleed team. So, love hearing you speak, and I love when you wear that gear. I sure have the same sweatshirt as you.
Let's go, dude. Go, Ross. Let's go.
What's your question, Ross?
So, I guess I have two main questions. And I'd like to start with I have two questions for AJ, but I'd like to start with Craig Newsom, 97 Super Bowl champion with the Pack, was my DB coach in high school.
Yeah, let's go, Ross.
Okay.
He taught me some tricks, like always have something to say, and then you got 5 yards, so hit him in the shoulder, get him off their route, and all that stuff.
Nice.
AJ, when you're a Super Bowl champ, into that. So my main question, and I'm looking at your bobblehead right now, by the way. You're one of my favorite Packers. So
yes,
me too.
I guess what makes you successful other than your athleticism in those roles, and also how much shit is actually talked on the field?
Oh man, I don't know if you want to start, Diggs, or me with that. I'm sure you want to.
Didn't mention my name. It didn't mention my name one time.
Yeah,
so
Tony, how do you be successful in the NFL though?
I think it starts with watching tape and seeing tendencies, and
that's right.
And so if your athleticism isn't there, you then can take over with your brain.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly right. You're right, Diggs. No question. The real answer for this dude, like consistency. If you're consistent with everything you do and your process and how you go about it, yeah, that's the only chance I think I ever had in to play in the NFL was, I was gonna be there. I was gonna try to be durable and show up. But the second question, when he asked if people are talking to each other, yeah, it happens. But I think it happens more on the perimeter, receivers, DBs that are going one-on-one, and D linemen, O linemen. But yeah, some people talk a lot, some people don't. I didn't talk much at all on the field because I had nothing good to say, no good comebacks. I'm terrible at it. So I knew you got to know what your strengths and weaknesses are.
By the way, that was not Ross from Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure that was actually Nick Sirianni. Like if I had to fucking take a guess.
AJ, you ever run into somebody on a different team though who just wouldn't shut up and was unbelievable at shit talking you?
Not like directly to me the whole time, but I've definitely played against guys that are going after one or two guys. It's usually like a guy in the secondary,
Klein
a receiver's going after, and then all of a sudden a tight end goes after, and then an O lineman are jumping in. Like those are the tough ones.
So not Klein Saucer.
Klein Saucer did not say a whole lot. That dude was so thick and so solid. Like I have a ton of respect for him.
Can we go to MJ in Texas? Michael, please, Nick. It's just M.J. in Texas. I don't know if it's
Jordan.
MJ.
Tone, AJ, boys, how we doing on this show? Good Friday, fellas.
Good. How are you, MJ?
I'm doing good. Hey, man, I got a question for AJ. Now, AJ, I know you're a 2-foot driving stooge. We all know that.
Here we go.
Got his ass. I just
that's a great compliment. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to know who gave you the inspiration to drive 2 feet, because I know all of a sudden you didn't grow up saying, well, I want to drive 2 feet now. So I wanted to ask you that question. And then my second one is, who do y'all think is the current MVP right now in the NFL?
Tony Stewart.
Thank you, MJ.
Good question. Hey, let's start with the MVP question, the football spot. Who really is right now? I mean, Tom Brady's got to be up there, isn't he? I know Herbert is up there. Kyler Murray. Aaron's in the top. Like, Aaron absolutely could still win MVP again.
Lamar.
The favorite right now is Josh Allen. followed by Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, Lamar Jackson.
All quarterbacks.
I think they're going to end up giving it to Brady just because he's 44 years old and he leads the league in most of the quarterback stats. And maybe I bet on him to win MVP, but I think it's going to end up being him.
They love a good story.
Yeah, exactly.
If he continues on this pace, yeah, they will absolutely love
Dak's
it
a
because
good
people
story.
are on. Think about both sides of the Tom Brady situation. Like, there's got people like Connor, they're diehard Patriots fans. They're torn on how to feel about this. And then a lot of people want to hate on what Tom has done, and then the majority of people love him, I think, and think it's unbelievable what this guy can do.
Yeah, I'm definitely torn, but at the same time, like you just finished with, like, it's ridiculous what he's doing. It makes no sense. Like I saw yesterday was the first time in his career he had over 40 passes and over 80% completion percentage. So it's like if he's still doing stuff that he's never done in his whole entire career, which is 22 damn years, and if they do, obviously they don't, consider what you do in the playoffs, but if he does go, to the conference championship or the Super Bowl again, it's like, how can you not give it to that guy? And Dak, I feel like he's just going to win the comeback player of the year, and they're not going to give him both, so they'll just basically pawn that award off on him, which is awesome, but I'm going with Brady.
But you have to think about it, though. When you're one of those front runners for the MVP, it's almost like when you're a Heisman front runner, you better those last 3 or 4 games, you better absolutely light it up, and you can't have you can't take a step backward. You see it with the Heisman all the time. Dude will be rolling all year. He looks like he's a front runner, and he has like one really bad game on prime time, and he's out of the race.
Yeah, last year Rodgers wasn't the favorite to win the MVP. Even going into the last week, it was still Mahomes, and then either Mahomes threw a pick or he only threw one touchdown or something. I'm not completely sure, and then obviously Rodgers ended up winning. And for us, we were, we thought it was obvious the whole year, obviously, but still he wasn't the betting favorite going into that last week.
Also, Russ was eating early. Cooking.
Yeah,
And
cooking and eating.
Yeah.
Nick, will you pick a caller, please? Your choice.
Dealer's choice.
This is Damon in Georgia.
Okay. Damon, Georgia.
How's it going, boys?
How you doing, Damon?
Here we go, Damon.
Good. Hey, I got one quick question first. Start off, not my main one. COVID Cowboy, we rocking a Stetson in there, man?
This right here is a Stetson. Yes.
Hell yeah, Tony.
That's what I like to hear. Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
Next one, AJ, I'm a Cowboys fan, actually, born and raised in Dallas. So I got Mike McCarthy. I was all excited at first knowing how his winning mentality from the Packers. I know you got some experience with him. I want to know, did he really just kind of ride Aaron Rodgers? Was Aaron Rodgers really the head coach of that team? Because it seems like, God, he's not doing too much for us right now. With his clock management's been pretty piss poor. Had to make some tougher kicks. Had some bad go for on fourth down on our sides already that I've not liked. He's not really running the plays on offense or defense. It looks like he's kind of just a cheerleader. We heard him on Hard Knocks. It was not sounding too great. So I kind of want your opinion on that.
Hey, good question, I guess. Well, McCarthy called plays, though. In Green Bay, he was the offensive play caller. So I know he turned it over for a second to Tom Clements and then took it back. And now he's not calling plays with Dallas. But no, what do you want me to say? No, anyone that is a head coach and Aaron Rodgers
rip him apart, AJ. Come on,
speak your truth, dude.
Yeah, that's what my truth is. No, Mike McCarthy called the offensive plays. He didn't ride Aaron to where he is now. It goes hand in hand. You need a good head coach. You need a great quarterback, absolutely. But if you have to pick one, if I have to pick between the absolute franchise stud quarterback or a franchise stud head coach, I'm taking the quarterback all day because that guy's on the field.
Yeah, exactly. It goes to the Belichick-Brady thing. It was like, who's going to win this matchup? But obviously it's like, well, only one of these two guys is actually going to have the football in their hands and actually be making plays on the field. Obviously, Belichick seemed to win that chess match. That's, neither here nor there. But
I have a question, AJ, about
What's
Big
up?
Mike. How much was he involved with the defense with you guys? Was he coming over and letting you guys hey, no, this is what we got to look out for this week, or was it more like the rah-rah type pump you guys up?
No, he didn't have a ton to do with the defense because he was so involved with the offense. Think about it. He's in all they have all the game plan meetings for offense. So he would come by all the time, walkthroughs and during practice and talk to us and see what's going on defensively. But no, they're so engrossed in their offensive play calling and what they're doing to game plan. A lot of times, if one of your coaches, if your head coach is a defensive coordinator or something, and he calls the defensive plays, he's probably not going to have a ton to do with the offense at the time either.
You think a guy like Brandon Staley is pretty hands-on both sides?
It sounds like it, doesn't he? It definitely.
Yeah.
But what does that mean, though? Because if you're his D coordinator and you have the head coach lurking in the back of your room every day, even if like he means well and he's just there to observe, it creates kind of a weird thing where it's like, oh, Big Daddy's checking out. He's checking up on us. And I think it kind of makes other coaches at times, like anytime head coaches come stand in the back of the room and watch, like, what are we? Is this like, are they observing? You know, when they observe teachers, they have someone that observes them all day. It feels like that sometimes. And I don't think head coaches want to put their coordinators in that position.
Well, Staley also, because of the fact that they like go over the entire game plan of both the offense, defense, and special teams with the entire team, it feels like everyone's kind of on the same page there. So it's not as much of like a principal in the back of the class or whatever. Like that didn't happen for any of your teams, right?
What do you mean? Which part?
Like the head coach, like addressing the entire team, going over all three phases of each.
Oh no,
game
they
plan?
do that. Big Mike did that. That's our Wednesday morning meeting. They go over like the overview, like the overall game plan. Obviously, some people are more in depth than others, but no, that's absolutely something we would do.
Hey, did Dom Capers openly speak that he wanted to be Dick LeBeau, or was that just kept behind closed doors?
Dom's the man. You would love Dom.
I know.
Dom's on the Lions staff right now, actually.
Well, it just always seemed like the Steelers and Packers defense with those two always ran very, very similar type things. Yeah. That's why.
Dom, you know what? When I talk about consistency as a coach, Dom is so consistent. I really respected that about Dom. Win, lose, no matter what it was, Dom was the same dude, and he was all about ball all the time.
All right, let's go to another call. Let's
probably
go.
Could bench press about 7,000 pounds too. Big old barrel chest.
Oh, just like you. You said you could bench press 7,000 pounds.
I've never been a great bencher.
Let's go to.
Can't grab the
let's
bar.
go to Harjote from Canada, Nick.
Who? Diggs, AJ, boys, what's going on? How you boys doing?
Harjote, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah, man, that's pretty good, actually. Most people butcher it, but yeah, Nick tried really hard. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. What do you got, Harjote?
Hey, I wanted to ask you, you guys are in broadcasting, all big football guys. Why does the broadcasting insist on using the stupid sideline camera when we can have Skycam where we can see what the QB is seeing? We can see all the routes run downfield, all the linebackers moving in. Why do we insist on using these stupid cameras?
Thank you.
Also, major shout out to Alfonso Davies and Team Canada, best soccer team in North America.
Shut up! Shut up, dude!
Wrong.
Harjote. You sound like Gumpy, dude.
No, Gumpy wouldn't say that. He
Yeah,
knows
but
Canada
he
is
was
not the best team in North America.
I never said that.
He was doing that the other day. I think for like teams that they know are going to run a lot, like the Ravens, shit like that, they should use the behind the quarterback sky cam more. But like you see much more from the sideline cam, right, AJ?
Yeah, and I think people are just so used to it. We're ingrained in seeing that sideline cam. And behind it is very cool. I just don't know how long it may take to make people comfortable to where that's like the main default angle you go to. It's awesome to see because you can see everything, but I think the sideline view is just classic.
Yeah, no, it's nice every once in a while. I don't want to watch the whole game like that.
No,
Absolutely
I think
not.
they did one game do the entire game like that because of lightning. So the sideline cams.
Oh, I do remember that.
And the camera operators were down, so they only used the sky cam, and it was weird. It was a little weird.
Maybe maybe they should have alternate ways to watch games, and one will be just the sky cam view.
Yeah, sometimes they did that. I remember with the NBA, like if you went to ESPN3 or whatever, they had that like cool camera that was on the side that everyone was obsessed with. So I think there are different channels, but that's only for primetime games, not like every single game.
AJ, do you see Myles Garrett? Have you decorated your house yet for Halloween?
I did see what he did. I have not. Inside we don't have much going on outside. Did this just go up?
Yeah. Yesterday.
I mean, I wonder who got this for him. Or do you think he like went and made these or ordered them, or like does he have somebody to help? He put the lights up too with them.
He's got a nice wood shop in the back behind his house. He's a stonemason. He
also
went out and made these himself.
Yeah.
He also has a 20-foot skeleton.
Yeah, it's
at
pretty
his
cool.
waist.
And also, it's interesting how Big Ben's the only one with a cross on his. If you notice that.
Well, that makes
left side.
I mean,
that's a good point.
he knows.
What is that about?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Does he watch the show?
He probably does watch the show.
He might understand what's going on.
Oh, he's got skull and crossbones.
What are you going to be
Fields
this year?
already?
What are you going to be this year for Halloween? Ram Dass?
I don't know what I'm going to be, and I don't think we have any like adult parties to go to where I need something. I'm matching the kids.
Are you still invited to the Packers team party, Halloween party?
No. I don't. Oh, you mean the one that players?
That one.
Do one. Yeah. No, I can't. COVID, man. You can't get up there.
AJ, would you be offended
Don't infect the
if
players.
Would you be offended if I dressed as you for Halloween and just went to a party just with gasoline all over my pants and shoes?
No.
That'd be
Nick,
sick.
that would be the ultimate compliment.
Thank you.
Please do it. Please do it and bring a Zippo and light it throughout the night just to scare me.
Let's do one more call before we go to a break here in hour 3. Brandon from Jacksonville. What's Brandon got to say?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
How you doing, Brandon?
Hey, man, no Coach JB, so I was watching a Slapdick podcast, and I just wanted to talk about something he said about these coaches, mainly Bruce Arians. He talked about giving Byron Leftwich that offensive coordinator title, but doesn't Bruce Arians call the plays anyway? So it's like Byron's going to probably be looked at for a head coaching job, and if he does get it, are these coaches kind of setting these guys up for failure, do you think, by giving them these titles, or just wanted to hear y'all's opinion on that as opposed to Coach JB since he's not here?
Well, since Coach JB is not here, you think you could kind of reenact how Coach JB would have said what the caller just said?
I didn't hear that part. I am an avid listener of the Slapdick podcast, but I think the biggest issue is you just saying a lot of these cats are just fucking bitch made, dog. And that is eventually going to come out. That will come to light. This is the National Football League.
Yeah.
This is the men's league. If you are a bitch made cat, you're going to get found out pretty quick.
Yeah, I think what he was saying was something along the lines about how OCs who don't call plays, even though AJ pointed out there Byron Leftwich does call plays, but an Eric Bieniemy, is he screwing over an Eric Bieniemy?
Yes.
Because of the fact that Andy Reid does call plays that when he goes to be a head coach somewhere, it might.
Isn't that just kind of the way it works in the NFL now, though? There are a large majority of these head coaches are offensive guys who call their own plays, and how many of the guys who currently have head coaching jobs were OCs who weren't calling plays? It's probably, at least 10 of them.
Well, it's a system too, right? Kellen, when Mike McCarthy came over, they kept Kellen Moore's system. Even if Bieniemy would leave and Leftwich, even though he's running the plays, wouldn't they bring that system to the new team, AJ?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can watch the game and clearly see that Bruce Arians is not calling the offensive plays with his satchel headset situation going on. You can see Byron Leftwich has he has his play chart and he's calling plays. But no, you're not screwing him by naming him OC. What if screwing him is giving him a pay raise and putting him in a position where people look at him and take him more serious? The only thing it does do, you can't go if you're named the OC, he can't go interview to be the OC in another team without permission from your own team. You can only interview for head coaching gigs that way. So if that OC wants to call plays and he's like, hey, I love it here, but I want to call plays, and these guys want to interview me to call plays for their team and be their OC, you have to get permission for that team to interview.
AJ, we discovered last week that you put a full-size dead deer in someone's locker. Have you ever pooped in someone's helmet like Cast Dog?
Is that what Castle meant when he said, I didn't know, I've never actually killed a deer? He may take a dump or pee in his helmet.
I think he meant take a shit in there.
I think he was going to poop in Tom's helmet.
Cast Dog poop.
Man, can you imagine having your who came and took his tires and put his car on blocks? I mean, you got to hire somebody to come do that.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned it. Tom doesn't like losing. So if someone else was going to go the extra mile, my favorite part was Matt Light and the boys pranking Brady and then just saying to Cast Dog, oh, you got him good, Cast Dog, and pinning it on him. That's
or what kind
genius.
of balls? Think of the balls Matt Light has to prank Bill Belichick to change his mouse into something that zaps you. Like that right there is amazing.
Yeah, that is absurd. I am very surprised Matt Light was not cut after that happened because I figured Belichick would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, it's real funny. Your ass is cut. Go to Cleveland.
No, Pat always tells a story about how there was a rookie or something like that who parked in one of the OG's spots, like Robert Mathis' spot or Dwight Freeney's spot like that. And when he came out after practice, his car was gone and had been shipped to Montana.
I mean, that's a good one. Yeah, what do you do? Like, you got to go buy a new car right away? What happens?
I don't know. We're paid to ship it back from Montana.
Yeah. Probably.
I'm glad that never happened to me.
Okay. What is it? 2:30. Oh, go ahead, Connor. Tell us something great about our presenting sponsor in the third hour.
Oh, absolutely, Tony. We may have a booze hound or two, but the tall boys we slam around the office are actually full of ice cold mountain water. What is it? That's right. What? We're constantly murdering our thirst with the best water brand on the planet.
Hell yeah.
Liquid Death.
Yeah.
While we murder our thirst, we are also helping out the planet by murdering plastic.
Ooh.
And 10% of proceeds go to stopping plastic pollution. There's nothing quite like mountain water out of an ice cold can.
What?
You need to try it today. Get free shipping on all water and merch at liquiddeath.com/McAfee. That's liquiddeath.com/MCAFEE, or grab some at your local Whole Foods and 7-Eleven.
Thank you, Connor. You got one too?
Yeah, and if we're not drinking ice cold mountain water, I just need to remind you guys that it is Feel Good Friday, and Celsius Energy also has us flying high into SmackDown and the weekend. So you know what that means? Celsius has put together a promo for all of us, and it's the best promo they've ever put together. 10 of their best flavors are all 20% off at the link in the description.
Wow.
That means Peach Vibe, Watermelon, Grape Rush, and Wild Berry are all 20% off. The stuff's delicious. The office has been running on it for months. You always see us drinking it. Just remember to also drink some water, maybe a Liquid Death mountain water when doing so. It's only available through October 22nd, so go to the link in the description and use promo code 20LIVEFIT for 20% off your order. That's 20LIVEFIT for 20% off your order at the link in the description.
All right, we finished hour 3 on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Mad Dog Radio, Channel 82. See you in 4 minutes.
Okay, so this one's a heartbreaker, right? I just had to walk outside the hotel that I had been watching the game in over here in Ontario, California, and everything was going so fucking great, okay? The same game parlay was going to hit. We were all going to celebrate. It was going to be the night. Leonard Fournette scores a touchdown. How you doing? Keep it moving. Jalen Hurts runs for his life. How you doing? Keep it moving. The Buccaneers get a fucking win. How you doing? Keep it moving. Antonio Brown has 40 yards in like the first quarter. How you doing? Keep it moving. And all we needed was what Tom had, and then he took Neo down. I mean, there was like close to 40,000 people riding on that. That would have been fucking epic, dude. I'm so sorry. Legit bummed about this. Fuck. I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen. The next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we could probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
so we're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, camera's on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy.
Kidding me? All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips him from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me. Obviously, I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple of times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer.
Right, well,
cheers.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scotty.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stuck in here.
You right.
It's the show recommended by 0 out of 5 old white guys. It's the Pat McAfee Show.
This is the Pat McAfee Show. I am not Pat McAfee Show. I am Tone Diggs, but we are still on Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Radio.
Oh,
boy Tony. Is AJ Hawk with us?
Oh, he is. He is.
Oh, he
there.
is.
Wow,
He is
I
still
did
here.
not think he was.
Neither did I.
Where do you think I went?
I don't know. Do some bullshit that you always do because you're so toxic and you try and do stuff like that.
AJ, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Which game are you most looking forward to? Chargers, Ravens, Cards, Browns, Cowboys, Pats.
Is this a real question?
Yeah, this is a questions
real.
from other shows question.
Okay. I need you to list those off again. Honestly, the Chargers, I want to see the Chargers play. I like Justin Herbert. What Cast Dog said, he's in love with Justin Herbert.
A lot of people are.
I like the Chargers a lot. I really do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too, just because they're both those teams are 4-1 and feel both top of their division. That feels like a pretty pivotal game. I'm surprised you didn't say Packers Bears though, AJ. Huh? I thought you were a big Packers guy. Oh, I love the Packers. Doesn't sound like it anymore, huh?
I mean, I am. I don't think I think the Packers are going to be fine. That's why I'm not too I like Justin Fields. But you say Khalil Mack didn't practice today?
I don't know if it was today, but I know he had either like a toe or a foot thing that he was dealing with
His
yesterday.
ankle's fucked up, but he's still questionable though. Him and
I mean, they're going to do whatever they can to try to take Devontae away. I think Devontae is on like a pace, and what he's doing as a receiver, it's unbelievable. It's awesome to watch. He's so good, man. Like I just don't think you can cover the dude.
I don't know if you can take him out of the game either, because literally everyone's trying to do that. Like it's not like people are getting surprised by him. I just don't know if there's a way that you can shut him out and stop him completely.
And the game that
it would be a combination of they're going to double him and have somebody over the top, and they're also able to get 4-man pressure consistently.
Right.
That's the only way you could at least, I guess, slow Devontae down a little bit.
He legitimately had 3 guys around him on one of the catches downfield where I think he was tackled at like the 4-yard line. Like it does seem legitimately impossible to stop.
The best part was also that when Aaron was talking about it on Tuesday, he was like, "Yeah, give me and Devontae another chance."
Yeah.
Instead of like, "Hey, give me and the offense a chance."
Yeah.
He said me and Devontae. So that's pretty like telling of how he
has
how
a lot
he
of trust.
feels. Yes,
Aaron loves him. He has so much trust in what Devontae can do that he's going to be open. And guess what? If he's not open, I'm still going to throw it to him and give him a chance because he's such a competitor. And Devontae's bigger than people think. I think when you see him in person too, you're surprised a bit. And the guy can move. And what Thewin said there on the show this week talking about like, hey, I watched Devontae. I watched his releases and how sudden he is, and I try to emulate some of that. So I mean, that's a big compliment.
AJ, did you see? No, I don't like this, obviously.
Oh.
And more importantly, before I ask you that question, we do have a pleasant surprise. Pat is back with us from
AJ, I'm on the sun right now out here in California. I got kicked out of my room, obviously. Then I got kicked out of the hotel lobby for potentially speaking too loud during a break. Had to find a nice park. Here I am. It's an honor to be back. Matt Castle, the Cast Dog, fucking killed it.
Yeah.
So what you had early? Did you request late checkout in that porno room and they didn't give it to you?
Yeah, I guess, because I had to book this last night because my first room made me sign a contract about no smoking on the balcony that I only got there because I had a balcony so I could smoke on it. So I had to leave that particular trailer park.
Wait, did you
place,
tell
come
him?
over to another.
Did you tell him leading up to it, like, hey, I need a balcony to smoke my dope?
No, but I mean, me and Zito scoured this entire part of the country looking for a balcony hotel, and I guess not a lot of room to be found. So we found this one place, the only place with a balcony, right looking over Misty's Lounge and in the hotel lobby. got there, they made me sign a contract, said I'm not allowed to smoke. So
Come
it's like, what's the purpose of having a balcony then? In California, what are we even doing? So had to find a new hotel. I requested a late checkout. It obviously didn't work out, but it's still Feel Good Friday, and the weather's beautiful out here. Cast Dog killed it. Tom Brady kind of screwed us. We picked all the games. The boys have been crushing it. This is good. Let's have a good time here. You know what I mean?
There you go, boys.
Hey, one thing we haven't got to, and it's something that I don't like. I know it's something you don't like. The internet is body shaming Zion Williamson. They're calling him fat.
Oh, man.
I did see that photo of his rookie year versus now, and I do remember all the conversations where, like, hey, he's probably not going to be able to play at the size that he's at with how long the season is. We've seen this with other athletes that have transformed their body and their diet to become, more available. Zion says, nah. I'm going the Shaq rat. Give me bigger. I'm going to continue to dominate. The guy shot like 80% from the field last year or something like that.
Yep.
He's coming off a foot injury. He hasn't been able to work out as much. Let's take it easy on old Zion. Let's take it easy on old Zion and let him grow into the mature beast that he's going to be inevitably. Don't you think, AJ? Everybody's judging this guy.
Yeah, you can't judge him, but okay, how old is he right now? Is he 21?
Something like 21, 22.
He's so young, and think about it.
He's been 40 since he was 12.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, I saw LeBron play in high school. He looked like he looks now. Like he was, especially playing against high school kids. It was scary to see. But if you're 21 and I don't know. Like I think it sucks, but I know it's a lot harder to lose weight at 45 than 21. So if it starts young, like then it's going to always be something that if you don't jump on it right away and change your lifestyle, it could get out of control.
We talked about this yesterday in the office during a commercial break. Like Nick and Foxy have the bodies where they can't get fat.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
superpower.
This is with a with a shirt on. I don't know what they look like without, but maybe Slaw without the shirt on. I'm not sure, but like publicly, their body types do not get fat. Some of us, though, and I feel like Zion potentially, when you gain weight, people see exactly where you're gaining your weight at. Now, Zion could be stronger than he's ever been, with more muscle than he's ever been, but the way his body potentially is viewed, they're like, you're going to have to slim down. You're going to have to do this because the injury history and everything like that. But all Zion has done whenever he played is play good basketball. What I would like to see him is, and maybe it is the diet, get him out of the bayou down there.
Yeah.
That Asian food is so good. Let's get him to another team, to a place that maybe doesn't have as good of food, to a place that maybe is on primetime television more. Let's not miss out on this guy because he's eating too much great gumbo down there and he's never on primetime television.
Fat, do you have SPF on?
Yeah, you should.
But it's going to get bad, boys. It is. I mean, I'm directly under the sun right now. It's not a cloud in the sky. I mean, I don't know if you.
Oh wow, it looks beautiful.
I will say that, like, where I was staying at, definitely a shithole.
Yeah,
sure.
This area I just stumbled into, which is just like 2 minutes down the road, is unbelievable. And it's not just me at places like this.
Really?
It's not just me. There's legends roaming around.
What the fuck is going on? How the fuck is you just sitting out here?
Yeah, come on. Thank you for the green tea. Coach JB.
JB's house. Hey, JB's house looks great behind you.
So I was supposed to go to JB's house, and we were going to kind of do a pop-in and let JB do his picks, and I was going to get to meet Stogie and all the other slapdick dogs he's got running around his house, and I was going to see the whole thing. I was very excited for that. Instead, what I realized immediately upon planning to drive to his house, that's like a 2-hour fucking drive. Oh. I said, hey, JB, can't do it. I need you to meet me. He recommended this place. I'm getting a chance to meet him in real. Hey, what's up, dude? By the way, this is my first time meeting him in real life. And also, we got to get the JB picks in, don't we? That's something we have to have.
Woo! Yeah, I was going to ask Coach JB, which teams are bitch made this week and which ones do we need to bet against?
You talking college here, right?
Yeah.
You know what, man? Oklahoma, I think they busted a nut too quick. I think the quarterback's going to struggle this week after the Rattler debacle. And I think TCU, Coach Patterson, great D coordinator, I think is going to stymie Oklahoma. Woo! And they're going to, after that huge win and come back against Texas and all that, I think they're going to play a little deflated. I got TCU winning that game as my upset of the week.
Wow.
Hey, just real quick. Sometimes some of the things JB says on the internet are taken
in interesting fashion. Him saying that a team just nutted too quick, there is 10 families walking by. Just full. I mean, we are in the middle of a family situation. It's great to see you.
It's windy as fuck, too.
Yeah, it is a little bit breezy.
You, by the way, we're in Ontario, California. That's like Kansas again in SoCal. That's the Kansas of SoCal. So I had to tell him to come to this fucking place. A little bit different atmosphere, about 5 minutes from his hotel that he was at. Well, probably motel.
It was a motel. There's nothing wrong with that for all the people that have to stay in motels. I prefer not to live that life anymore. The rats and the cockroaches and the semen on the things is just not my life anymore.
And Diggs, I got to correct you. Ontario is not the valley or near the porn hub of the world. There is actually a valley in Cali, and that's called Simi Valley and Woodland Hills, which is about 2 hours north of us. That's the porn capital of the world.
You idiot.
Well, I knew the valley was. I didn't know that your valley was a different fucking valley.
Nah, he's just in a valley. He ain't in the valley. This ain't the valley. We're in fucking Ontario. This is like the IE, man. This is out here kind of, there's a fucking semi-pro team playing where he's hosting the wrestling event. This ain't a major, staple.
I mean, all right, we don't need to bury this place.
The Ontario Raid.
He has had to stick up for the left coast a little bit these last couple of weeks. What's your next pick here, Coach, please?
I got Oklahoma State. Texas favored by -3.5. Texas. I'm going to take Oklahoma State on that one. I think Texas also is going to have a letdown after that debacle. Auburn, Arkansas favored by -5. I'm going to go with Auburn after the performance they performed last week. Here's the big one. Georgia, 21.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Kentucky to cover that
one.
Between the
Hey,
hedges.
there's going to be some disagreements in the office about that one.
JB.
Two more. BYU is an interesting one. Baylor, BYU is very interesting. After BYU lost its first game to Boise last week, good friend of mine, Kalani Sitake, the head coach, I got BYU.
What's his name?
Kalani Sitake. He's going to cover the -5 against Baylor. Tennessee,
like
I got
BYU
covering the -2.5. Tennessee's playing well right now. And I think Lane's got his hands full there. And obviously the issue with him going back to his, where he was and where they burned down his fucking flag and shit.
All right, so let's talk about Lane Kiffin. He just punted the shit out of his play call sheet.
Yeah.
Okay,
He does it every week.
I love it. I love everything about
I
it.
love it too.
But you like Tennessee over Ole Miss there?
It's 2.5. Ole Miss favored -2.5. I think Tennessee wins by 4.
Hey, Pat, I got a question for JB.
Go ahead, H.
What's up, AJ?
JB? Hey, what do you think of Lane Kiffin? And is he one of these offensive guru guys? I covered him a little bit when he was coaching at FAU. I worked a few of his games. Like, what do you think of him overall as a coach?
Man, I love Lane. I've known him a long time. Him and Sark, same kind of tree. Both offensive gurus, so to speak. We're all kind of the same offensive family. We run similar things, all three of us. And we've all sat down and had many conversations and talked it up, chalked it up. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. The thing about him and Sark, and they're both boys, friends of mine, they got to hire better, in my opinion, as far as defensive staff. Because look at what they did, man. You should have never gave up an 18-point lead versus Oklahoma. Ole Miss obviously giving up as many points as they do to a quarterback that really can't throw in the pocket like Arkansas last week. They get beat, or almost get beat. They go for 2, or who knows how that game ends last week. I think they got to do a better job on the defensive hiring side, and I think they're just going to continue to be what they are, offensive gurus, and never really get over the hump by winning at all, like a Saban or a Dabo or somebody like that that's really got the defensive integrity, which we know wins championships.
Defensive integrity. Talk about Urban Meyer there too. You seem to.
He's an offensive guy.
Hey, does JB think Rattler's going to transfer now?
Oh, yeah. I don't even think he's in the school database anymore.
Hold on, though, because I think people are saying, and this has been said on the internet to me after we made the sources have told us allegedly he's going to transfer or whatever, because I think that was kind of bouncing around. People are saying he's just going to go to Phoenix and start training for the NFL. Like, he thinks he's – I guess that's what the internet is saying. Like, this dude's going to try to just make it to the NFL because he thinks he can go. AJ, your thought? I don't know if he's been a guy, right?
He was going to leave anyway. This was his last year anyway, so I was surprised when I heard he made good on another team. I think
he's been out of high school for 3 years?
Yeah.
He was projected top 5 before the season.
He probably feels if he has a great pro day, he works out right, that he could still be drafted high. Who knows? I don't know what is.
And if he works out with a guy who's like a pro guru and that guy can go to bat for him, maybe that'll be the case. But it feels like a lot of people, and I can sense this from JB's head shaking. When he was doing that, he was moving a cigar that's as thick as a telephone pole, and the smoke was going into this young lady's face over here. It was fantastic, that whole situation there. But I don't think anybody really thinks he could potentially be a guy. And maybe physically he could. I don't know if he's shown that. I haven't watched enough. But mentally, being an NFL quarterback is a fucking lot.
Yeah. He's physically gifted. He's super physically gifted.
And then transfer. I don't know how mentally tough, these GMs are really going to want to go after you. I don't know how that sits with them. I don't know. I don't think he's that talented, to be honest with you. I think he's a little overrated.
Well, you said that about Carson Wentz, too. He threw for 400 yards.
Yeah, and they lost.
Yeah, but
so did fucking, what's his name? Burrow. Every game last year blew out his knee.
All right.
Wentz is, oh man, you guys love Wentz.
Sorry about it. Hey, how's it going? I mean, this is absurd. We are in the middle of like a shop.
Pat's getting red. Pat's getting sunburned out here. He's got hair. I don't, so I'll have a.
Hey, you should see this. JB showed up, by the way. He's got this massive watch on. Okay, he's got these clean K-Swisses. Hey.
You don't know about
And then he's got this national championship ring on. AJ, look at it. Married to the game. Married to the game.
Hey, I won't say what I want to say, but yeah, married to the game here. Single bachelor.
Hey, Ty, I know you had a question for Coach JB, and I was hoping we'd be able to answer from his house with Stogie around.
A bird just sit on me. How you doing, little baby?
It's good luck. It's good luck.
It's good luck. Yeah.
Good luck.
Picks are a lock this weekend.
Those Ontario birds.
He's to wipe it off with a leaf.
Coach Shitbird.
Yeah. Yep.
Coach
Shitbird, man.
Coach
Fucking
JB.
shitbird. You can't make this shit up.
Coach,
go ahead.
Yeah, Coach JB. We don't need to dive into all like the accusations and stuff
Bird
like
shit don't
that.
smell like dog shit. All right, go ahead. What?
With Gruden being let go and then an interim coach coming in, I don't know if you've ever really that situation. Do you think the Raiders are going to rally behind this guy and play well on Sunday?
I don't. The reason being is Gruden called 100% of that offense. It's his offense. I don't believe there's a person on the staff that knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to calling the offense after he left. I think they've been in shambles all week. I got a good friend there, obviously, playing. I think they're going through some regression. Before you can progress, you're going to regress. I think they're going to struggle this week with a decent defense in Denver, playing up there in altitude. I don't know if the whole NFL thing, it's not college or high school where you go rally for the guy you like and hyped up and you go out and ball out. NFL's got paid dudes on the other side too, man. They're going to shut that shit up real quick. I think the first quarter Raiders might play well. I think you're going to see their offense struggle after that when they try to go to Waller every snap.
This is coming from a guy, though, that actually has bird shit on him right now.
Yeah.
So
you can rally. You got to keep going, man. This is a results-oriented business. We don't have time to fucking sulk and suck our teeth, man. This is go time. Take the E out of ego. It's go time, man.
Pat.
Yeah, what's up, Dick?
All right, so you normally do this to AJ on Friday at the end of the show, but I feel like you and Coach JB in sunny California should say something to the people, to send us into the weekend.
Well, first of all, Tone, I appreciate that opportunity, and I know Coach JB will as well when I ask him to give us a little life lesson quickly before we sign off here. And Chris Mad Dog Russo over on Sirius XM, Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports. I first want to say thank you to AJ Hawk for working all week this week.
Wow. First time all year.
We appreciate that, AJ. It does not go unnoticed. You make the show so much better, pal. I appreciate the hell out of you. Go Centerville Elks, by the way. Hey, let's go Elks.
Go Elks. That's right.
Thanks to Matt Castle coming on and telling an incredible story today, and all the guests this week, and the boys, covering and making magic happen while I'm out here in California meeting up with Coach JB. And before we send it off to Chris Mad Dog Russo, the show will be much better than ours. Is there any life lessons that you could give in like a 30-second space here in sunny California about what we should think about going into the weekend?
Sunny life lessons, man. I don't know. I don't know. Every day, man, like like I live by, man. All gas, no brakes. I don't think you have time to sulk over open wounds, salt in the wounds. I think you got to keep stepping forward and making progress regardless. So I don't know. I just think that it's a result of any life we live, man. I think the winner gets to go home and have bump uglies with the prom queen. Loser goes home and gets the baby oil out, man. And that's life in general. I don't care if it's this show or fucking another Mad Dog show. Pat, give credit to. Obviously, we know this show is the shit.
Okay, all right. So we won't. All right. So
all love to you guys. I appreciate you guys having me every week, man. It's a great opportunity. So I appreciate you guys tremendously.
Love you.
Appreciate
you, Coach.
Home of the heartless. Progress regardless. Don't be the one with the Jergens. Be the one doing the real thing. And to do that, you got to seek out happiness, seek out joy, and go and get it.
Don't get your arm shitted on either.
Yeah, that's tough. Have the greatest weekend of all time. Mad Dog is next. Yeah, it was good work. We're still live. Right now.
So you're done too.
We're done serious. Trying to explain to JB right now what the fuck just happened is awesome. So
you should go for how long more?
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah.
You don't have no limit.
Yeah. So we're off on serious. Hey, this dude walks up, by the way.
Uh-huh.
So I'm in the middle of chatting with you guys. I look over. I'm talking Stogie just hanging out. He's got the Billy strut almost going. This son of a bitch commands a little bit of attention when he walks into a room around here.
Hell yeah. Hey, did you get anything delivered to your room this week or no?
I had the shit set up for him, man. I'm gonna scoop him up from the airport and shit. He was like, "Hey, I got a rental car." I was like, "Look, I didn't mean to be your fucking, I'm gonna take you around town all day, every day." I said, "I'll pick you up from the airport, take you to your fucking rental car. We can go get a steak or something." You know?
He was trying to.
And I had edibles for him.
He did. He told me I got some real ones, and I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, they're real. 10 milligram, 30 milligram. I don't eat them, so I don't know nothing about them. But obviously, growing up how I grew up, I got people that know the guy. I know a guy, and that guy has the real deals, man. And I think Pat. I don't know if Pat would have been up right now.
Oh, we get it.
Whoa.
Listen,
I heard right. I heard you like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, hey, I ain't worried about no Compton, nothing. I want to let you know that, okay?
No doubt.
AJ.
What's up?
Could you imagine if we would have came back and me and JB are sitting in his studio over there, kicked up different directions, cigar. That was supposed to be what it was supposed to be. That was what it was supposed to be. And here we are in the middle of the nicest place I've ever seen, and he's losing his mind getting shitted on. This was supposed to go a little differently, AJ.
Well, when did you check that? When did you find out it was a 2-hour drive from your hotel to where JB was? I would imagine that's something you probably could have checked maybe 2 or 3 days ago.
Hey,
let him clarify.
You know how the city goes. It was 40-something minutes, but it felt like it was 2 hours. It was like 20-something minutes.
It's only a 20-minute drive, but the traffic in California, obviously, where you go is going to extend time. So I said, man, let me make it easy and come to Pat.
We met. And so it was, I think there was an accident probably. I don't know. I assume everybody out here just drives perfectly.
We're pretty far east here of LA. We're about an hour east of LA. And I'm another 30 east of here. So that kind of puts it in perspective where we are on the location. We're directly east of downtown LA where we are right now, though. We can literally get on the freeway and go straight east, 30 minutes, or an hour, and we're downtown LA.
Wow. West. I think we have to go west.
We got to go west. Yeah, we're east of LA. Sorry.
You get it. Yeah.
And so,
cardinal directions.
It's weird that SmackDown goes there. Why is SmackDown there, Pat?
Stone cold hustler. Don't get it crazy. He's not just a hustler. He's a stone cold hustler. I have no idea.
Ontario. Holy shit! They must have owed somebody something fierce. I don't know who's here. There's a minor league. What is it?
The rain, dude. It's the rain.
Hockey.
So it used to be Citizens Bank Arena years ago, and it used to be. I want to say. Yeah, the Kings have always been there. So I think the Lakers and the Clippers play preseason games in there for the local community as kind of a PR deal. I think the Mighty Ducks and the Kings used to play there in preseason.
Gordon Bombay, dude.
Hell yeah. So that's what it is for. It's not a real, and they got a lot of concerts in there, a lot of, shit like that.
Hey, we sold the place out. I assume there's going to be people from all across Southern California.
Let's go.
Because there's a lot of freeway access here.
Probably going to be a lot of movie stars and shit, too.
Well, JB ain't going to be there, but somebody maybe like JB would be there, hopefully. A couple people.
Who was like JB?
What's that?
Who was like JB that could be there?
I don't know what's like a fucking. I don't know what A-list celebrities are anymore, but maybe.
I ain't no fucking A-list.
Oh,
come on.
Netflix International Superstar.
Maybe John Malkovich. You could go as John Malkovich.
Paul Giamatti.
Michael Rappaport. I'll call Michael Rappaport and have me and Michael go on. We should have Mike on the show. Us three? Oh, fuck. Mike, have you seen Michael Rappaport imitate me for Halloween?
Oh, my.
Google that shit. Have them pull that up, dog. You want to laugh?
Rappaport's an interesting guy. Rappaport, he is mad at everything at all times. I'm surprised you two get along. That makes no sense at all.
Oh, yeah, that's... Nah,
Hey, why is he burying everybody? JB's burying everybody we know now.
What do you
Have
mean?
you noticed that? That has become a thing.
Who?
Not Joe Rappaport. You're talking about Mike Rappaport, right? The actor.
Yeah, we're talking about
Joe.
I apologize.
Hey,
But I
JB,
don't
I
like
got
to
a question.
apologize,
JB,
But
can I ask you?
if you do apologize, people, apologize in the moment. Don't apologize tomorrow, because we are who we are, not what we say we are. Let's make sure we're clear. If you apologize 19 fucking times, that's who the fuck you are. Stop accepting the apologies, people.
It's a good point. JB, though. JB, what do you think of Schefter and this whole situation that's going on with him and these emails? Like, what do you think? Are all media members doing this?
Yeah, everybody's doing it. That's how they're getting ahead of it. It's happened. I've known that to be a thing for a long, long time. Stephen A., all them guys, I think, get their information from certain people. They're not just getting on their phone and they're first people on the phone. Is that how Schefter's getting it? Hell no. They're getting information to either protect people or, they've got deals in the making. You know how it is. And then I think there's another thing with the players or former players that are now working in those franchises, like as, small analytic guys or under the GM or working for those guys. They're giving out information too, not only to their boys that played with them, but to Schefters of the world and people like that. So it's not surprising to me, man. I don't know if that's really something that he needs to worry about, but I think, like you said, all the journalists, people in the world that are straight living by the black and white code of it, I think they're pissed. But I mean, again, I don't know. It's not a big deal to me. I'm just curious on really what the other emails are about.
650,000 of them.
Yeah.
Just Gruden, and you notice, who says that Urban didn't call Gruden and say, hey, man, I appreciate the shit out of you because you ain't heard shit about Urban Meyer about 2 days.
Hold on, there was another casualty, though. Hash, and this is an interesting thing. I saw this on the internet, and I think somebody in the office mentioned it. I don't know if they want to stake their name to it or not. But if the NFL is controlling what's getting released out of this email thing, maybe them releasing hey, this is our top lawyer also getting killed here. Maybe it's like a strategery move because everybody outside of the NFL was potentially getting buried. I don't know how that information gets out about anybody, but I'm obviously happy we're learning these things about some of these people.
Well, don't you think the fact that it's their head lawyer and it came out, isn't he probably the one that's reviewing all of this and letting them know, like, hey, this is what we should put out and this is what we shouldn't?
Yeah, that's what's interesting to me as well. I don't know, man. Hey, snakes slither together, brother. I don't know who's who, and that's why there's two people in the world I trust, me and the other motherfucker ain't you. Period. I don't trust none of them. So I don't know what's going on, but shit, I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. And who knows who's coming out here. I guess whoever gets mad at who is going to be the next email that pops out. So
what was that? What was that? I trust two people in this world.
Me?
It's me and the other motherfucker ain't you. What a lie.
Like wasabi, man.
He legit got shit on over here, dude. That is a real
Good
thing.
luck.
It's good luck. It is
right
good luck.
after the picks got made. That's good luck for Coach.
Hey, maybe it is, man. Or I'm a shitbird.
Yeah. We would have wanted that shit before he gave out the pitch.
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah. Hey, I know you guys are touching on the titled OC thing. I know Leftwich has a lot more influence on calling the actual plays than the enemy does, even though I grew up with Eric in this area. Him and my good friend Darian Hagan at Colorado, option superstar back in the day when they won a natty at Colorado together. But, I heard what you guys were saying about it, and I know somebody called in on the way over here. But, man, I kind of disagree with AJ in the fact that I get what he's saying. But, again, if you aren't the play caller and you're the titled play caller, I agree that I believe that you are getting set up to fail, and that's why the enemy has not interviewed, or he has interviewed but hasn't got a job. And I don't know if Leftwich is going to fall into the same boat. Obviously, you see Leftwich meet Brady at the hash every time and he's got everything. And I know you got Arians with the big satchel on. I still best believe that play goes through Arians' headset, and just like Andy Reid, I just don't know if those guys are being set up to fail in the long term of things because of, do you really know the intricacies of being a head coach? Because you don't watch as much film when you're a head coach, but when you're a play caller, you kind of seem to watch. You want to put more energy towards play calling and watching film, like Gruden does, obviously, and those guys. So that's kind of my point on the Raiders going to struggle. I don't know who the heir apparent was to Gruden. Was it the quarterback guy? Who's going to take over the play calling duties? And what happens when Bieniemy has to take over a franchise that's worth billions of dollars? Can he manage those things? That's where I think the setup to fail happens, because you don't ever get the totality of a program or infrastructure of a program when you're a coordinator or a title coordinator. Look at every coach that's left Belichick. How many have really succeeded? Yeah. It blows my mind how many leave his program and don't have success. Are they really paying attention to what the hell he's doing there? Bill O'Brien was okay at Penn State. I mean, he took the Texans to a couple playoffs, but overall, what do you define success by? Super Bowls. You know, it's a what have you done for me business, or lately business. So I don't know. That's kind of my point on the whole titled OC thing. It's a great thing for, in my opinion, for African-American coaches to get the title and then get an opportunity. But we also know where the Rooney Rule sits and how much of a slap in the face that is, in my opinion. It's just a token interview. Is it really, you know, AJ better than me, this business, we already know who's getting the job. It's a preconceived deal. And I think that these coaches know that too, through their agents and everything else. So, like, in my opinion, when the coach actually stops taking the Rooney Rule interview, I believe it'll change some things. Or if these other emails come out.
Hey, so hey, by the way, that was pretty good. Hey,
yeah.
Just hit me with that national championship ring. Fucking cut up my goddamn hand. The run of success in Ontario continues here.
Put some lotion on you before you get.
All right. Yeah, but the head coaching thing and the GM thing, you get elected, not selected. Right, that's kind of the old saying. Is there's like always like a PR campaign, it seems like, and Bieniemy has, I think, a lot of people behind him on a regular basis. But I think people know, like, when you're with Andy Reid's probably calling that, and I don't know if that's fair or not. I don't know if that's fair or not to Bieniemy. Who knows if he'll ever get a shot to kind of do his own thing? But that's to his point of, like, it's kind of setting him up for failure, because everybody around the league is thinking to themselves, well, he's not really doing anything. Andy's doing it. When it comes to Leftwich, though, it feels like Leftwich and Tom Brady have a complete hold of that entire offense at this point.
It's still going through Arians, in my opinion.
That's something in the emails too. People were talking about was like, would it reveal that there was either some sort of like discrediting toward? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also for players too, that could potentially happen. You know. The NFL
who we're not trading for. This guy's a shitbird.
Yeah.
You know, like AB fell into a great spot, right? Like, you know, not to bring up all the politics of it, but AB fell into a great spot. He is now with one of the good old boys in the network, is Tom Brady. In my opinion, Tom Brady is in that network. AB's under him now. Tom Brady's told him, hey, shut the hell up, fucking do this, and your name will be cleared. And look what he's done. He's been out of trouble, and everyone seems to have forgotten AB is a shitbird. So now you think, oh, he's good. You got the Kareem Hunt of the world. You got the, you know, going back to the day, like, look at all the people, man, that's had these issues. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just some are okay with some. You know, some can do some things and some can't, and it's just a difference.
Be who you can afford to be is like the old statement. Yeah. And I think I
think sins are measured the same. I thought. I don't know.
You would think only God can judge you, right?
I think so.
He thinks that's from the Bible.
I think they said it's you know, stealing a piece of pizza and robbing a bank is the same fucking thing, right?
All right, we're going to get out of here because we are offending families at a rapid rate.
Have fun, Pat.
It's a beautiful area, though.
It looks nice.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, all your incredible hard work. The show was incredible today. You guys did a fantastic job, even while I was getting kicked out of the old Johnny Sins Hotel.
Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate you, Pat. Good luck tonight.
JB just spit some game, complimented a good hat there. Who knows how it's going to work out for this guy. Hey, JB, great seeing you.
My Instagram is I'm just playing. Hey, it's a good day to have a great day.
Yeah. All right, SmackDown tonight, Fox Sports 1, 8 o'clock to 10:30. Should be a great time. I think I'm back in studio almost like the next 8 to 10 Fridays because we got no more stupid ass West Coast trash ass left coast trips.
Let's go.
Wow. Hey, Pat's over here. He talks about me bashing. He at least come to like a real West Coast fucking city. Not these.
I love it. I love it. It's awesome.
Good job. Good job.
The travel is a pain in the ass. I appreciate you all. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, boys.
See you, Pat.
man.
See you,
See you,
Pat.
guys.
Coach.
See you.
Legend.
All right.
Legend.
AJ, got anything to say?
No, I mean, JB, I think he brings up a good point there. Like what he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think of it that way, but if like a guy like Bieniemy, there's been a big push for him to be a head coach, but I guess if you're hiring, they may wonder like, well, are you going to call the offensive plays? Like what is everything that's great in Kansas City? Yes, they know he's a part of it, but they probably are wondering like how much of a part is Bieniemy. And from everything I hear talking to players that play for him, they love him. They say he holds their dudes accountable. He's super detail oriented and he's great. I mean, he's going to get a chance. It just feels like when is that going to happen?
Yeah, and to your point, like obviously they bring the system, but shit, like not every team has Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey on it. Where it's like no matter what the play call is, they're going to make something happen. So yeah, it was interesting to hear that kind of perspective, though.
Well, yeah, nobody has those. Nobody has Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, all the weapons they have, and usually an O-line that at times they got to get healthy, I guess, but. Yeah, I don't know. I'm fine. I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. I know some people worry about them. They're going to be okay.
All right, before we get out of here, does anyone else have anything to get off their chest they need to say before we head in the weekend?
Bear
I
Dahn.
don't think so.
Okay, Bear Dahn.
Thank you.
Anything
Go
else?
Pat, go.
Go
Yeah,
Pat,
sure.
go.
Damn it.
Man.
You got anything?
Good luck with your bets. Win some
Hey, good
money
luck
this
with your
week.
bets. Speaking of Hammer Dons in 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
It's Pick Friday, so we'll give out all of our picks.
Hell yeah.
AJ and Pat already did that. If you've missed that, Billy Tubes will be putting that out on the Pat McAfee Show YouTube. Can't thank you guys enough for listening and watching today. Congrats to us. I don't think we burnt down the show.
No.
Great job hosting.
Yeah,
Tony.
good job, Tony. Hey,
Thank you.
host Tony.
Yeah.
Good job,
Well
dudes.
done.
Good
Thank you,
work.
AJ. AJ, have a great weekend. Good luck with your last Clemson Tigers game.
Thank you very much. It'll be a fun weekend. You guys have a good weekend as well.
We'll be back on Sirius XM Channel 82 Monday at noon for Overreaction Monday.
Yeah.
See you then. Have a good weekend.